Good morning.
Where do we go to find these recordings?
Hi, Gwen.
Yeah. Didn't catch up on yesterday.
Maybe you guys don't have audio working yet. Oh, there's the class I miss.
Hey, Zachary, say something so I can hear.
Hey, can you hear me?
No, I can't
You know I love to talk.
hear you.
Maybe I'll just keep talking until you guys can hear me. Hey, Gabby's in on here. We love that. Oh, can you hear me now?
Now you can probably tell them. Can y'all hear me? Give me a
I
thumbs
can.
up if you can hear me. Okay, well, that's what we didn't have yesterday. So then,
What's up, Melissa?
okay, look at me. I've got it all done except for they can hear me, but I can't hear them. Did you volume? Morning.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good.
I'm so proud of you. You are doing good. I did this.
You did that?
Do it.
Oh,
Is that all it takes?
try that, yeah.
Hey, y'all say something again.
Hey, what's up, Amy?
Okay, hold on.
Gabby.
Girl, I haven't seen you in so long.
Oh, now I hear Gabby. Go figure.
You're on mute, but I'm talking to you. How are you?
Okay, how do I get, oh, that's what.
You just, the first thing you hear is me yelling or what?
Pretty much.
That's a good way to start the morning, just me mad at you.
Gabby, Gwen said Zach talk, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely talk. You know I love to talk.
Dude, I'd love to talk too. Come on,
Oh,
now,
yeah.
you know me.
Did we get more donuts? Yay.
So did you see my text? I told them,
I
I'm
don't
like,
think Duncan
David and
approved.
Zach are not touching the donuts.
Yeah.
And they're on Zoom anyway, so they're definitely not touching the donuts. So, I told David K that there are donuts in here to tell the bartender.
Oh, yeah.
You should not throw away donuts, but they should not go down this pie hole. They should go down somebody else's pie hole.
I agree.
You know, if I can't get skinnier, I just make everybody else
Fatter.
fatter.
That's right.
By default. I love it. That's good.
It's a good theory.
Isn't it? I think it's good.
Hey, Gwen.
Hey,
I have, today is my buyer appointment at 11:30. Is it okay if I hop off and get
Yeah.
on Zoom with them at 11:30?
yeah, the last session is actually pretty short. So we did good yesterday at 11:15, so I think we'll be able to do good again today.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm like, let's get the content in, and we didn't take any breaks yesterday. It was awesome. I think it was awesome. Hey, I'm up here drinking coffee. I'm the one who had to go bad. So, yeah, well, if you need to take a break, we'll take a break, but otherwise, I mean, I
Who's
know.
in the office?
Lisa? Hi.
Oh, it's just Lisa. I see her just lonesome self sitting right in the middle of the screen.
Right? Oh, am I on camera? Yeah.
It's okay, I'm coming. I'll sit right by next to you.
Oh, you are? Okay, good.
I
Okay.
honestly forgot it starts at 8. I thought it started at 9 for some reason, so.
Gabby,
I have
I'm
been
late, but I'll
in
be
the
there.
office at 7. Wow, overachiever. Yeah, I know, my kids.
Gabby,
like-
there is no such thing as an excuse. You just got to wake up at 5 and you got to get on the road because you live 433 miles away from the office.
I should just buy a plane at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you could finance it, I would say.
Yeah, finance a plane.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gabby, how far away are you?
I'm pretty far. honest. I'm by freaking Aurora Mall. I'm literally just passing the exit, so I got a while. So
So you're coming in about 11 o'clock. No,
Yeah.
I'm teasing. All right, so tell me, what did you guys like about what you learned yesterday? What were your things that maybe you've been reflecting on since yesterday?
Melissa, we can't hear you.
I said we're not starting with Melissa today. We're starting with Zach. No.
So it was that bad, huh?
No, it was good. It was good. I was just
Whatever.
joking. I was just joking. The last thing I had a Smedra one yesterday too. So I started reflecting yesterday and I started just thinking about the last thing I was learning, and that was compliance. So I was like, uh-oh, don't start with me. I got to go further back in my brain.
That's a really good thing to learn. We're gonna talk a smidge about that, not a ton, but mostly about who not to call.
Yeah,
Today, we're gonna talk about our database.
excellent.
When you think about a database, what do you think about?
Building up your network of clientele, customers,
Reporting.
yeah, the who you have met. That does not even sense.
Yeah,
Have met and the have not met.
not met, yeah. Yeah, the lingo is met and not met. SOI, do y'all know what that is?
The what was that?
No.
SOI, do you know what that stands for?
SOI.
Sure.
fear of
Open.
influence.
Sure, out in, I have no idea. It's sphere of influence.
Oh, duh. Oh my gosh.
I was
Nice
thinking
job,
social
Gabby.
media.
Well, don't sweat it, because we have 1,000 at least acronyms. So if you don't know one, don't worry about it. You got lots more. It does take a bit. So I used to have a notebook. Hey, how's it going? Nick enters the room.
Yay.
So I used to have a notebook with all of my acronyms in the back of it, because my second day on Keller Williams was at Bold. Oh, no,
And you're
my
like-
second day, my
I feel
first.
like I need a glossary for this.
I did, so I made my own glossary in the back. It was crazy. It was really crazy. So don't give yourself a lot of grace for not knowing these acronyms. We were talking about database and what SOI means. Do you know what that one is?
SOI, no?
Sphere of influence.
Oh, yeah, I do know that, sorry. Not enough
Everybody was
coffee.
like, same thing. Oh, yeah, I know that. You know,
Try.
That's a tag for your database, is the reference point you're using right now.
it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about is our database and what that really looks like. And I should have a glitter, so I don't have to get up. I considered bringing my dog in, y'all.
Oh, you
My husband said, oh, he'll be fine. He'll just lay right there beside you. And I was like, you're so funny. Because he would not. Right, Gabby? All right, I'm gonna try this. But
Wow, she's focused.
I was gonna say she's focused or she lost service.
me,
Oh, that's true. She does look frozen.
mine might be frozen.
I was
Yeah, I
trying
mean,
to get into Zoom on the whole drive here and it wouldn't let me in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she lost service because she's only got one face.
Yeah, and that
How
would be
many faces do I usually have?
No, not you.
Who's frozen?
That must be-
Gabby's frozen.
Oh, Gabby's frozen.
Yeah.
She's driving, that's why, right? Yeah.
I'm trying to find the clicker, y'all, hang on. Oh, it might be this one.
I would think
Sorry.
Ricky was having trouble with it on Wednesday.
I just took her, which one to use? When in doubt, click them all. This one says. Up and down. I just don't know what to point here. Point at you. I can point at you and you can hit the button. How about that?
Yeah, is that how that's gonna work?
I don't know if it's. Oh, hell, this works.
There you go.
Watch me use that like a mouse.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, let me turn off my phone.
That's what I was just trying to do. Oh, my.
so it doesn't buzz all day. All right, is everybody back? Is Gabby still frozen? Did she bump?
She has disappeared the chat.
She said she was far, so she didn't do it on purpose.
No.
I like the buy dirt shirts. Did those just come out?
Yeah, well, yeah, family, maybe family reunion.
Yeah.
Well, help me watch if somebody's in the waiting room. Can y'all see those things?
It should doorbell.
Oh, it should help me pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to let everybody in. If she comes back, we'll pop her back in. Okay. So we're going to talk about lead gen, and how to find people to work with. We kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday, just talking about social media, and Nick was talking about his people that he knows. And so I think that this will be super useful, and it's gonna be a lot more hands-on than like the idea. So far, we've had like big ideas, you know, like keep your mind right, and here's what the market, a little bit yesterday, here's what the market can look like, here's how you figure it out. But today, this is your number one job. You have 5 jobs. Do y'all remember what they are, or have you learned what they are? And it puts me, I put myself on the spot right here because I always forget one. Lead generation is your number one. What is it?
Lead follow-up, number 2, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, and script practice role play.
Exactly. Do you guess which one I always forget?
Negotiate contracts.
Oh, I love that part. Scripts.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's that other job I have? Clearly, I'm not doing that one as often as I should, or not calling it my job. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I think it's going to be a fun one. All right, so we're going to talk about building a smart data bank. You know, well, I'm jumping ahead if I do this in the agenda. How to build your database, feeding your database, communicating with your database, serving your database, recap, and then daily success system. We'll talk about that. So your database is your business, and building up the number of names in it and a relationship with those names is really at the very core of what building a real estate business is all about. So if somebody had, let's say, a haircut business, and they've done it for 50 years, and they could sell their business, right? What are they really selling?
Their database.
Their database. That's how important your database is. Guess what? You can sell your database to another agent when you're ready to be donesies.
Can I ask you about that?
Yeah,
There's a lot of conversations I've had with both established and aspiring real estate agents. A lot of paranoia around the value of the information in one's database.
Mhm.
I'm very hesitant, for example, to load everything into the Keller database. I'm looking at third-party options because I want my information protected. I mean, we live in the age of data is the value, the most valuable thing.
yeah. And it's funny because all the other databases are connected to somebody else that's not Keller Williams. So I feel more secure putting my stuff in with ours. And if you go back to Family Reunion 2019 was when this was launched, and he was adamant, this is your information.
I just
You can
can't find
export, you
anywhere.
can-
I can't find anywhere to give me those reassurances. Like I've asked Amy, like
Yeah.
I
This is-
want, because I see the value.
Right, well,
This
you're not gonna, Zillow just bought, so I've never, ever, ever, and I would strongly encourage you to never put your full contact information when you are setting up a showing and showing time. Zillow owns that information. I put S and C, and maybe I'll put buyer, maybe I'll put part of their last name, but not the whole last name, and they don't get shit else.
Right.
Because I don't trust it.
So my point here is that I'm trying to figure out how to navigate all of that kind of stuff because I feel like as a whole, the industry, I'm becoming more aware of how valuable people's information is, especially in our industry.
Yeah.
right? Because,
Oh, yeah.
right, Zillow, I mean, if you want to buy leads, where are people getting leads? There's 1,000 companies that are scrubbing the internet, looking for anybody who's doing any kind of real estate search. They gather their data and then they try and sell it to you.
They gathered it from Facebook. Are you on that?
I mean,
Yours
everybody.
is out there.
Right, but I don't put anything personal on Facebook. I use Facebook exclusively for my mineral business. So I'm like, gather the data, please put me out there.
Right.
But I feel responsible for my clients' data in real estate. I don't want to be the one who made a mistake and got their data put out into the stratosphere for one of the million bots
Yeah,
to
and
gather, you
I
know?
get it, and I get what you're saying, that you want to be the one who protects the data, that your people's data should not be leaving your control. Right?
Yeah.
So, but the fact of the matter is, their data is already sold by 15,000 other people. No one's ever coming back to your control. Number one. Number two, that's why we have a database like Command. Because he saw the writing on the wall, everything's for sale.
Right.
Every other database has some sort of, I used Bavini before I got here. Super robust. I loved it. And I had to pay for it. So I was like, this is free. You can use a shoebox. Nobody cares what you use. That's what Gary Keller started with.
Right.
A shoebox with 3x5 cards. As long as you have a system or a flip chart and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and December through, January through December. I start with December because that's when I was born. So
Me too.
naturally, I start with December.
It's all about you.
Yeah, it is totally. Yeah, thanks for recognizing that, Lisa.
Got you, girl.
Thanks for noticing. So it doesn't matter what you use, you can use anything. You just need to use something because as we're gonna learn today, you have to feed it, you have to add to it, and you have to communicate with it systematically. If the fact of the matter is, all of your people in your database are also in somebody else's. When I like, oh, wait, that's true. You look on, I could look at you on my friend page on Facebook. You and I are the only friends. That would be boring, first of all. Second of all, ding ding, hang on, I'm coming for you. Because I'm on two screens, I can't see what's.
The root of my question is I'm just trying to find peace with feeling like I'm not subjecting my client base to, well, I can't understand how, like, what would Keller Williams stand to gain by having my database? Because those people are my people.
Yeah,
They're loyal to me, not the fact that I work for Keller.
Yeah.
Right? So
right.
theoretically anyways, that's the way
Yep,
you'd like to,
absolutely.
you'd like to feel that until your brother-in-law abuses someone else to buy his house. you know?
Well, yeah, that too, for sure, without a doubt. And that's one of the things that when Gary Keller put it out, one of the first videos, and it's probably on our YouTube page, what Command is and what it stands for and why it was developed. And in my opinion, possibly why they rushed putting out this infant called Command. Little baby seed, because it was clunky and they kept saying, it's an infant, it's growing, we have to feed it, we have to nurture this app, it wasn't even an app then, but Edge was horrible. We had that too. And I never even put my stuff in it. So, and we've had something, but we've also not had anything that was exclusive until Command. Everybody went outside and got what they needed.
Right.
So I love it, but you have to hear that from them and then that's your choice to decide you trust it or you don't trust it.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I'm not the most trusting person in general, so I'm trying to find something that makes me feel comfortable and I just haven't. I feel like I've asked the right questions to the only people I know to ask, and I can't seem to get any assurances that like that information, I can get a verbal, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, and I don't know that I don't have any idea if anybody, I just feel like the person who his whole business model is taking care of agents.
Yeah.
And we own the beep company.
Right.
Why in the world would he throw us all under the bus? That's short-sighted.
Yeah.
So I kind of start there.
People do crazy stuff to make billions of dollars.
He's already got billions of dollars. Is he motivated by anything else?
Right, right.
So that you have to look at, well, what does he really gain? How am I like 3 slides in and already lost? Where's this slide? Oh, here it is. No, it's not.
Ben, drink up the keto coffee, you know, it'll really
Oh.
wake you up.
I got it, and I'm waiting for this stuff to be done first before I hit that one. I'm gonna chalk it up to my slides and your slides aren't the same. 'Cause I don't even have that, whoa. What the what? Oh, wait. Yeah, all right. Anyway, if you know nothing about me, know that winging it is my standard. So your database is what we talked about. It is in fact the group of people that you know on some level. And we're gonna talk about today, it doesn't have to be that they would know you. It may be that you know them, it may be short-sighted, and then I'll show you how to pull that in so that it is mutual or reciprocal, is what I'm trying to say. So one of the, I don't know, I'm hoping that this slide is in here because I thought it was really good, and we're jumping fast, so it must not be in here. But in my guide, it says that Gary Keller had some things that he had to get over when he started lead generating. So I'm gonna share those with you, but my eyes don't like that far. So one of those things that he thought lead generation was really difficult. I mean, like Gary Keller, he's like I call him the grandfather of Keller Williams, and he struggled with these kind of things, this mindset. I don't have time to lead generate. Well, what do you have time to do then? Are you working on business? Because you got none. You got to lead generate. So I don't know what to say. Well, we know that's how our scripts were developed. And I am afraid of making mistakes. So did any of those resonate with you, or you feel like you're in good company with Gary Keller to know that he struggled with the exact same things? I think that was powerful. I was like, oh, heck yeah. I have another one. It's boring. It's not really. It's just what I tell myself so that I don't have to go do it. Remember what the 5 jobs are. The number 1 job, it's not number 1 for just because. It's not alphabetical. It's literally the first thing you have to do before you get any business. So it's super, super, super important. So then he says, once he realized these were myths, he says, I was confusing effort with enjoyment under that really difficult. I think lead generation is really difficult, he says. I was confusing effort with enjoyment. Lead generation is actually easy, it's just not fun. And I like fun. I'll do it when it's fun. So I'm gonna show you that whatever your fun is, how to make that lead generation. How about that? Yeah.
Gwen, can I just add something real quick?
Yeah, you're gonna be lead genning at the gym. What's your ad?
Oh, sorry. This whole Zoom thing is so confusing to me. I was just gonna say, I feel like if real estate is your passion, I mean, kind of aside from like talking to people and just being social, I feel like if real estate is your passion, it doesn't really take that much effort to lead generate because you're doing something. Like I woke up this morning just like, I know this is gonna sound cliche and silly, but like kind of excited to learn more, but also like I get to tackle the weekend and like I have an appointment today, and like normally that would stress me out in my head, but
Yeah.
this is like a passion of mine. It's been a dream of mine since I can remember.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really, it's like that saying like you're not really working if you enjoy what you do. So
Right.
like this is where I'm at for myself. So it doesn't feel like it's super hard work, although I'm already super stressed and overwhelmed. So
Okay, now Michael's in the room. No more swearing, y'all. So I totally agree, Zach. If you enjoy it, even if you make yourself enjoy it, I mean, you can trick your mind. Remember that your subconscious mind believes whatever you tell it. So you need to make sure you tell it what you want it to believe. It does not know the difference between a lie and a truth. So choose your thoughts and your words wisely.
I think it is a mindset.
What was that?
I do think it is a mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
Without
that
a doubt.
the ego wreaks havoc. For me personally, it was like, I've been a rock star in a couple past lives.
No pun intended.
And so to grovel, to call people, to be like, hey, so I know I was king of the plaza and the last thing I did, but I'm doing this totally new thing now, is kind of
So they
weird.
can expect King of the Plaza.
Right, and that's the feedback that I've got. That's the
That's the
point I'm trying to
feedback
make.
you need to develop.
Right, and the ego gets in the way because it's like, oh, what are people gonna think, or whatever it is, you know? And so that's been a big
Yeah.
obstacle for me to get over, you
Yeah.
know?
That's exactly my obstacle too. Is that
That's a tough one. But I have found that bigger percentage than not of people are like, oh, cool, you're doing something new. I bet you're gonna crush this thing too.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And that's mostly the
Exactly.
feedback I
That
get.
should be your own feedback loop.
Right,
yeah.
Melissa, you said that's your biggest obstacle?
It is my biggest obstacle because in the past, all of the jobs that I've had and that I've gone into, I've had something to give when I've gone into it, you know, like I've always come in being able to help somebody with their process. And I've always been able to, I don't know, I've just always been able to help companies perform better. And then I come in here and I'm like, what's my name again? I have no idea, you know, and I'm overwhelmed.
It's a little bit
And
like standing
and then
in
I
front of
start
the
feeling
rest.
like, wait, I'm exactly in the same boat as Nick. And then I just have to take a step back and go, okay, stop.
I
You
think
are-
sometimes you're your biggest roadblock in your own like path to success. When you, like, I know this might be slightly off topic, but when you care about what everyone else thinks around you and you care what people think of you and like what you're doing to perform, that literally is a roadblock and it's stopping you from performing at your ultimate best. So when you remove that and you hone in on what matters to you and what's going to benefit you, it's almost like you're even more successful than you were prior to that.
I believe
It's like-
that. That's 100%. And I know that's where I'm at right now, because it's like all of that doesn't matter, you know. I might be a little newborn baby in this industry, and that's okay.
So
But I
think
will
too,
learn it all.
It's-
I mean, not all,
It's
but
definitely your mindset, because we're gonna teach you what kind of value you do have and how to present that value, and that's not gonna be your issue anymore. Because you had influence over big corporations before.
yeah,
Where can you make life differences? You know, that little kid who now has a backyard and he's been living in an apartment, now he can run back there and swing on the swings.
yeah,
That makes a difference in somebody's life in a much bigger way, I think, than a corporate. I mean, and that's me, and that's the story I tell myself, and if you try to change it, I will fight you, right? Because it works. I need to
Absolutely.
change lives, individual lives, not corporate lives.
Yeah, and that's who I am too. I think even on a personal level though, I mean, I've always been involved and I'm always volunteering and I'm always giving back and I'm always helping a hand. But so I think this industry is something that, and I'm a very personable person, you know, it's something that I want to do because I do want to help others. I mean, I have a bigger picture though too for the future. I mean, I eventually want to develop a nonprofit. That's the future, but
That's
you know
your
what I
big
mean?
why. That'll be useful when you don't want to do something that will remind you of that.
Exactly.
So then the next thing that Gary talked about is he doesn't have time to lead generate. And then he realized he had an issue of making time to lead generate and protecting that time. So we have a bold law that real estate isn't about selling houses, it's about following a calendar. You know, you have to protect that, and we'll talk about that today, about how to protect that time. Not knowing what to say, I already told you we have scripts around that, but Gary said he had to get on the path of mastering the dialogue skills needed in this business. And he was afraid of making mistakes. That sounds like a lot like what Nick was saying already. And you're in good company. And Gary says he found that lead generation is nothing more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. So time on the task over time was the simple secret to success. And like I said, he literally used the shoebox. So what database, if you're concerned about that, keep it in a notebook for a while. But you have to have a system to go through your names and contacts so that you can make sure that you're systematizing your lead generation, okay? All right, like I said, these are not matching, your slides and my slides are not matching. So, address this one out. It's a really big book, or you should read the report. Oh yeah, I read it at 11 o'clock at night. Or, yeah, I get up really early, so that was really late for me. Okay, so in MREA, there is a lead generation and database model. MREA is a book of models. That's what Gary Keller is really known for, is systematizing the whole industry. So there are models to follow and then systems inside of that model that you can make your system be different, but the models are generally the same. And here comes Gabby.
Hello.
I'm like announcing them. All right, so it doesn't have to be complicated here, but as you can see that this is about relationships. So the first thing that you're doing is capturing leads, whether it's somebody you already know, it's still a lead capture. Your prospecting is one part, marketing is another. We'll go through what is the difference here. But you've got your leads that go in, leads maybe from relationships, and then how they're getting strengthened, then they become contacts. And then you're cultivating them, and hopefully they're ready for conversion sooner than later, so that you can get the transactions out of it and referrals. It's not just about transactions, don't forget that. There are referrals in this too that will help you. So one of the things that I don't see, because I can't see all the slides because I didn't go through them. I wanted to do this with you because this is a fun little exercise and I already did it, so I want to show it to you. So take your phone and go to your contacts. And at the very bottom, you guys in Zoomland do this with me, with us. Go to the bottom of your phone. In an Android, it's right on the front page. Actually, on an Android, you only have to go to the bottom. The way mine looks, you just use the 3 dashes on the left-hand side, and it'll tell you how many contacts you have. Okay, we're gonna math today. Lisa, how many contacts do you
I
have?
don't know. I don't have a.
Go, you have an Apple? Go all the way to the bottom.
It's
It'll
gonna
show
take me
you.
a year.
Oh my
No.
God.
Oh,
It is gonna
good.
take her a
This
year.
is perfect. Okay, write down that number.
What am I trying to look up though? It doesn't.
The number of contacts in your phone.
So manage contacts?
No, are you in the
Yeah, it
contacts?
gives you the
app?
total contacts on the bottom, sorry.
Yeah, from the very, very, very bottom. Do you have an Apple or
On
Android?
Android?
Okay, so you go here maybe.
If you're on an iPhone, you can go to contacts and then lists.
Oh, you're in the phone app. You want the orange one.
Gotcha.
List.
Okay.
I don't have a list.
3 dots.
Yeah, I don't either.
What you talking about?
Share.
I thought you got.
Order favorites.
No, not those, that one. Then it'll show you right there. Write down that number.
790.
That's what we did in Rockstar. Wait, not Rockstar, with Rob Turner.
Oh, yeah, you might have, you were there. I remember that. Okay, so then what you're gonna do from there, everybody got that number?
Mhm.
Okay. So according to the National Association of Realtors, the typical person moves every 8 years. And according to the 2020 census, the home ownership rate in the US is 64.8%. If we can assume that 64.8% of your database is a homeowner and they will move every 8 years, this means that, thank goodness somebody else figured out this stat. 8.1% of your database will buy, sell, or buy and sell a home every 8 years. It's just a numbers game, right? So take that. And you are going to multiply that big fat number you got by 0.081. That's 8.1%. Remove the decimals.
Wait, how much?
0.081.
I'll be a millionaire. Wow. Love it.
Yeah, well, okay, so, yeah, Michael should do this too and then tell us how much money he's missing.
Who says I'm missing any?
Oh,
Like that comment.
Yes,
right? I'll tell you how much
I
I'm
love
missing.
that.
Okay, so everybody got that number? Okay, so that is your potential closing opportunity from your contacts
Over 8 years.
over 1 year.
I thought you said it was every 8 years.
I know, but that we multiplied it out by your contacts, so that's
Okay.
every year.
Okay.
So somebody in that's every year, and then it's a new set of people every year. Okay, so then you take your total number, and because we're gonna figure out how many of those people would have given you a referral. So, all right, so we're rounding down too, don't worry about rounding up, it'll be a little bit conservative. So now let's assume that all the people in your sphere of influence, they're in your phone after all, they're in your sphere, 10% of them are gonna refer you a client this year. So now take that big number and multiply, it, give it 10% and put that in line, the second line down, third line down. Add those two together. How many referrals did you have, Lisa, from your sphere?
93.9.
That's nice. So you've got 9,000 contacts? 900.
900.
900. My math is a bit off. That's right. Okay, so adding those two together, that's your potential for the year. You see that?
I'm gonna need some help.
Right? Exactly. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. How are you, Gwen?
You mapping that out?
I'm mathing,
Okay,
yeah.
so now your average commission, you will find your average commission, you'll find your price point. But I like to use 12.4. I don't know why, I've always used 12.4. What do you use, Michael?
10.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
easy.
make the math easy.
It's easy,
Say
Jared.
10.
All right, use 10. Let's do that. And you multiply that by that other number that you added together, your 90 something and your 0.081 that you got on the second line. And what's your income opportunity in a year, Lisa?
1.699.
1.699, she said.
I hate that.
Right? Exactly. That's a lot of transactions. I love this. I don't know why it's not in the new, that apparently it's not in the slide, or I'm skipping ahead, but it's not order. If I am skipping ahead. What about you, Gabby?
I'll be honest, I gave up on the math.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
I got lost.
You know why?
I got
Because
lost.
somewhere
on the
in your
first
subconscious,
step.
you're like, oh, I can't.
I already know
pushing
it's
it
a
away.
bunch. I already did that once. I know it's a lot.
What?
I already did that once. I know it's a lot.
That's all you
So
need
here's
is
the
a
question,
lot?
are you gonna take that number and then reverse it to figure out how many sales you need, how many appointments you need, how many listing agreements you need? So you can actually start working it to make that money.
Are you asking me that?
Asking everybody that.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not the one we're in today, but that's exactly why you do this math.
And
So you
so
can back it in. That's business planning.
what was the third one? You had the 0.081, that was how many people move.
Yep.
You had the 10% of your contacts will get you a referral.
Yep.
And what was the third one?
You're adding those two together,
Uh-huh, those two
and
numbers.
then you
together.
get your total transactions potential transactions in a year. And then multiply that by 10,000 being your average commission.
Right.
And that's your potential income for a year.
Assuming that all of your contacts are local to where you're living.
Oh, they're referring you. So no, not assuming, nothing like that.
Because I'm right now experiencing, I just sent the paperwork over yesterday, the first time that a friend who used to live in California and moved to Hawaii,
Mhm.
tried to use me to sell his house in California. And I was like, well, I can't do that, but I could refer you to another Keller agent.
Yeah.
And so right now,
Yeah.
yesterday, I got my first ever out-of-state referral.
Good.
His property is gonna sell for like 600,000 or 700,000. So it's not a ton of money, but I'm gonna get 25% of that agent's
Of that
commission.
agent's commission,
And
absolutely.
that just came from having conversations about, I wasn't even telling him, I wasn't looking for real estate work with him. He's just a friend who I was sharing the excitement of getting into real estate with.
And that right there is a real estate conversation.
Right. And so that for me was a comfortable place to practice. Hey, we've been friends for a long time and I know you care about me. Here's what I'm up to.
Yeah,
What are you up to?
yeah,
You know, and it was more of just a friendly conversation, catching up with a good old friend, you know?
exactly.
And it's actually gonna result in a few $1,000s landing in my pocket.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of fun.
It's-
You know, some agents, they build their business around that.
Uh-huh.
It's all they do is they have agents all over the country sending them referrals.
Or no, they're sending referrals out,
Well, no.
sending them
Both
referral
ways.
payment.
So other agents, agents in other states are sending clients to agents in Colorado, and then those Colorado agents are sending checks out.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of people
Right,
moving
so-
here from elsewhere right
So
now.
that could be a method of lead gen, right? What happens if you
Yeah.
called every agent in California
Right,
and said, hey, if you know of anybody moving to Denver, I'm your guy.
right. And that's one of those, I actually get emails occasionally through, I'm really bad with command and all of our Keller technology. I have not embraced it. I have not learned how to utilize it. But I do get regular emails from what I can only assume to be new agents elsewhere that are like, hey, I'm Bob in Santa Rosa,
Right, right.
looking for a referral partner in
Yeah.
Denver. And I don't even know how to reply to those people, so I haven't. But that would be a good thing to follow up
Absolutely.
on.
You
Hell yeah, I'm
wanna
your guy.
Find out if who they are resonates with who you are.
Am I alone in that? Is that a normal thing? Do you guys
Oh,
see
no,
emails
that's-
come in from
That's
people?
not, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've got, yesterday I was trying to give my coach my commissions, and because on my own personal spreadsheet that I track everything on, I was like, wait, I gotta do this and then skip that one, skip that. I got 3 referrals this year because they were working with me here and they were like, Don, this is markets. I hate it. And I'm going to North Carolina. So I got a referral out there. I was like, oh, hang on. I had referred her to 3 people before she finally bought.
Right.
Because the other people, you think you got somebody in? Yeah. And the client just said, they're not you. Meaning they weren't at her beck and call.
Yeah.
I ruined you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So the last one, I was like, I think I created a monster, but I need you to support her, you know? So, and she did a great job. So yeah, that's totally, like, I didn't have to do any, it was really money back from me working my hiney off out here,
Right,
but still, I was happy to have it because you don't always. I
right.
just had a friend and she's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're moving to Texas. I'm like, hang on, I'll get you an agent there. No, we already.
Yeah.
Because I worked with her for a year and a half. And I just wanted to kick her in the pants.
Right.
Oh, well, what do you do? Go get another deal.
And when you find a good
That's what you do.
agent to work with in another city, is that someone you would put into your database just so you have them in there as your part
Well,
of your
why would they
referral network?
remember you next time that they have somebody that they want
If
that
you're
is moving there to
Reaching
here?
out,
It's because you're top of mind.
Right.
You have to stay top of mind. Absolutely put them in your database. Right? Is that where you put your agents, Michael? If you're talking to them? And guess what? One day, they may move to Colorado themselves. And now they're gonna talk to you about moving in here, and maybe you want to join the same market center that you're in.
right,
Yeah, it's a good thing to keep in contact, and I tag them, which we'll talk about, you know, what your database can look like as well. But I thought that was a really important exercise. I hope you guys found value in it, like I did. But just to have those numbers, I had, my database or my phone sucked in with my husband's phone a few years ago. And so I literally have people in my phone, I have no idea. I know I have a bunch of duplicates, but my numbers are 5,000, over 5,000 in my phone. Wow. So which means if I just did it straight and these are real people, would be 429 potential deals. Yeah, I got money left on the table. Clearly, I'm not doing 429 transactions. And then the referral part is 529, leaving me with 958. I'm gonna need a team. Yeah, but that was 11 million. and change.
Gwen, can I ask you a question real quick?
No, yes.
Bummer. So this might be a little silly, but when you, like, for instance, let's just say you had 500 contacts in your database on command. Is there a way, or are you allowed to send out an email, like an email of some sort to everyone in your database that, I mean, whether it's like, hey, like, welcome to winter or fall, or, I mean, just something that is kind of like showing that, like, hey, here I am. Is that like allowed? Can you do that?
Yeah, that's gonna be in, more in the second session that we do today.
Okay,
Looking over here, because you're over here to me, I know I'm up here, really. So if I don't get through it all, and then I can help you one-on-one. But
okay,
that is, smart plans do that, in a great way. And you can
Okay.
also just click and send out a bigger email as well. You can do campaigns, it's very robust what you can do with command. So I think that you'll really enjoy that, and we're gonna touch on some of that today as well.
awesome.
So make sure you know how to use this tool that you get. It's a freebie.
Is
So-
there, to honor your knowledge, is there any sort, and it might even have to be paid, is there a way to take this and input it into command?
Yes, and if your phone is super clean, I highly recommend it. If it is not, please don't, because I did. And mine's a hot mess.
Lisa, you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah,
I actually literally just did this. Can I just tell you really quick? If you go into your contacts and on the very top hand left corner, you'll see the word lists, like with an S.
yeah,
If you hold down, like where it says all contacts, if you hold it down, you'll see export. And you can either, like, you know, do AirDrop to your computer, or you can email it or text it. And then once it's on your computer, you just have to rename the file to, and there's instructions in command, but I am literally importing as I speak, and they're just flowing in. I sound like I know a lot of people, I don't, but
Oh, cool, so it will.
super easy, yeah.
We had a PieSync, I mean, we still do, but there's PieSync as well, and I don't know if is that still free, Michael? Your first time you PieSync, I have no.
I would definitely pay to do that. Like, I don't want to put 900
Oh,
names in my
no, no,
command.
exactly. And if
Okay,
it's
good
clean, and
advice.
if it's not clean, then that's how you clean it up. Once it's all in, then you start systematizing,
Yeah,
you know, talking to them, tag them.
Yeah.
What you talked about, put them on a smart plan. Next, you know, that's, I do that all day long. I'm like, what is happening? You know? So,
Okay.
yeah, it's how you set up, we'll talk a little bit about how we're setting up a command. Making sure you tag well, like I tag mine with kids or no kids, or dogs or cats or whatever, because if I want to send something out that is to that people group, like the Halloween. I just drop down look for my tags that have kids on it, and then that's who I invite first.
Yep.
I'm inviting a lot of different people because I'm asking them who do they know? This is a safe place. It's not cold. If it's snowing or whatever's happening, they can come in here. So, yeah. Definitely worth all that. Okay, so a little bit about command. Here, I guess this is telling you it's not in my book, but this is what you use for your thing. This is essentially a very, 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 it's very robust. But down here, you'll see, I don't know if y'all can see my pointer, but down here, you'll see who's in your database and the health of your database. You can slide this over. I like to gamify it, see how I'm doing in comparison to all of KW or all of the people who are using command. And then I like to see how I'm doing in the market center. Excuse me. So if I just like to be a little bit better than everybody else in the market center. So I need to check and make sure I'm still doing okay, since you guys are in here and probably up in your game. But it's super important to make sure that you've got all that information. And you want a high health score, that's how you know you've got a really great database that you can utilize. Birthdays and home anniversaries, there's only one birthday in it. Kid birthdays I put down in the notes, and then I put them in my phone to recur every year. And then it'll alert me several things before, it's labor intensive in the beginning, but it'll be worth it. Because guess what you care about as much as you care about hearing your name is somebody recognizing your kid.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw that little Johnny did blah, blah, blah. It was a winner of 4-H. Around there, if you're in Douglas County, Elbert County, Arapahoe County, people love to get the congratulations about their pig. Their sheep,
Just in
whatever.
general, people love to hear about themselves. They love to feel important. So if you make them feel like you pay
Well, and
attention when
their
they tell you
kids.
stuff.
For sure, without a doubt. So use command, it's really great. Okay, so we're gonna teach you about building a database, how to feed it every day so that your database stays fresh. Communicate with it systematically. We can communicate, but systematically communicating is gonna make sure that you get through your database. And then service all the leads that you have. So we kind of already talked about some, ahas there too. All right. I wish that this and that matched. So building this database, at the very minimum in your phone, you may not have an address because our phones are really for calling. I've gotten to where I will drop in my emails there as well. And mine say things like, it might say Lisa Love, Ava's mom, Evelyn's friend, and then the school, because we've gone to like 5 different schools. Did I know them from this school, that school, homeschool? Because just this kid, if I don't have that, I'm like, where did I meet this person? So there's a lot of, and that's on the top line. So when my Google reads it back to me, it's real fun. You have a text from Lisa, Lillian's mom, blah, 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 it goes on and on.
You're like, I got it.
Oh my God. And if it's in a group text, it's every time, like, never mind, Google, forget it. I'll read it in a minute at a stop sign. So you really, really, really need name, their contact information being their email, and their phone number so that you can contact them. Those are, your smart plans are built around that. So that's gonna be super important. And then past business record, how do you know them? What do you know about them? What, they moved on this date and they talked about moving in 2 years, or so-and-so's having a baby and keeping track of that. All of those kinds of things are gonna be really important in building that database. And so you'll see here, the name, this is how the health score right here, it's too far away to see what the health score is. 68, 3, and there's different percentages. You can bump that up if you're looking to give yourself a better health score. So then these right here are tags. Yeah, okay, so what this person has done in their command, they have noted that there's no neighborhood here. They don't have an address. So down here, there's no neighborhood here. So they need to do that. And then they've also, maybe they're in a team situation, or maybe you've pulled off, this is husband's contact, but you could tag it here. Different colors, different tags, all that kind of stuff you can move around. You can't move the order though, kind of annoying for me. It might be something I just want to do so I don't have to do something else, to be honest. But, and then you've also got some tags down here, these called legacy tags. I'm not sure exactly what those are. But there's tags that look like those that might be from a Facebook lead. If you've done a Facebook ad, they'll come in looking like that. And it automatically tags it. You can build a smart plan, little off topic here, but you can build a smart plan. When your lead comes in off of a Facebook ad, it'll tag it mark it as a lead, see this one's marked as lead. And start your smart plan, if you set it up that way. Or it could be just a Post-it note type situation where it's just thrown into a box. This command is really on point with automating things. It does not take the place of your personal touch though, so don't automate it. In my opinion, do not automate it so much that it takes you out of the picture, okay? You still need to pick up the phone and use this phone number right here. But you'll see that this contact has a phone number, an email address. Look, it says the lead source because they marked it as a lead, where it came in off. It says Denvering, Mayfair, Denver, all these different things. These must be a type of lead generation or something like that. So, and then who was it was assigned to? Oh, mine says me. So. Not that I'm calling anything. Why did that do that? Oh, okay. I don't see a text and I don't see a chat or anything or anybody in the waiting room. Okay. So you'll see that this actual contact sheet is really pretty, I mean, it's got more that you could put in here, but it's a good start. It's in the green. I've got some that are in the red. And then over here, you can see what was done. They've got I know, I don't know why it's ding donging. Anybody see anything? I don't see anything, so, okay. Okay, so you can check out, it says command your database on Connect. Command your database and the 66-day challenge are both super great for learning how to maneuver through command. A 66-day challenge is super simple in the beginning. So get through, I don't know, I would go to guess like day 20 is probably just your basics. And then as you go from there, it's gonna get more robust and then get into your smart plans and that kind of stuff. I really enjoy using that to guide me through command and how to use it. All right, do y'all have questions about how to find your command? Have y'all all logged into command? Have you logged in even?
I have.
Okay.
I find it terribly overwhelming personally.
It is, that's why breaking it up one day at a time. That 66-day challenge, did you tell me that you did work through some of it? Or listen
You
to some
know,
of it?
I struggled. I was really excited to get into it because I see the potential powerhouse that command is with
Mhm.
helping you to run. I mean, just the freedom, my head is such a jumbled mess. There's so much going on in there all the time. So the freedom of not trying to remember Bob's birthday or his wife's anniversary or whatever it is, having all that shit in your database to just kind of, you don't have to, you can make, I don't know, acreage in the brain is valuable, right? So
Yeah.
to like
Oh,
dump material you don't need to store in there is huge.
yeah. I'm exactly the same way because
My experience with the
I should have
66-day challenge though, was when I first started, I was told, check this out. And I went in there and I got to day 3 and it was like, so go to this screen and click this button and it'll take you to this screen. And it was totally wrong.
it was probably the wrong version.
It was the newest one at the time.
Oh,
Because they're only
Okay.
doing updates to the 66-day challenge like once every quarter. But they're doing updates to command like once a week.
Yeah,
So there's and I'm just not tech savvy enough to know, like, I tried skipping to the 4th day. I'm like, oh, it's just trying to get me to this place. And I was able to navigate how to get to
Yeah.
that place, but it kept happening so many times over that I gave up, honestly.
okay, so it sounds like there's a hole. Anybody hear that? Let's do a class on command. Now, Amy has a class on command.
I saw that on the calendar recently, and that's maybe even a byproduct of me complaining about it so much 6 months ago.
No, she's our tech person. She does all the techie stuff.
I know she gets a lot of phone calls from me.
So she is the one that you call for, my Pixel is inactive and I don't know why. And she's like, okay, we'll do this. I'm her stumper. And she's like, let me get back to you on that. So I haven't heard from her again. She's avoiding, no, I'm kidding. I don't know. I know the value of a pixel. I know how to, that it's the one, it's just like your, little tracker thing for your phone. It's like that, but it tracks the person who's coming to your website and what they're doing and all that, and what they're looking at on Facebook. And if they come to my page or not, that pixel is like that little tracker thing. Bite tag is what I want to say. It's different. That's for dogs. Or cats, or whatever you want to put on,
Cats.
or your spouse. Hey. Anyway, like the tile tag, it's like that. That's what a pixel is in the world of technology. So mine's right now inactive, and I don't know how long it's been that way. So.
Hey, Nick,
Yeah. You gonna-
I was just gonna say for Nick, if you want a really in-depth, I said this yesterday, but if you want a really in-depth, like hands-on experience of Command and how to work it, you can go to YouTube under Scott Leroy Marketing. And I'll be honest, I was really apprehensive of even watching any of the videos, but they've all been uploaded in the last 3 months. They redid the whole thing, and it's really intuitive. And there's like almost 90 videos, and they are broken down into subsections of how Command works. So that's kind of how I learned how the whole platform, like, moves.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for that, because I certainly haven't looked in the past 3 months, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man.
Command Basics, that's another class they do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is there a third party that I could pay to do a lot of the monotonous shit, so I could just input my contacts?
That's. What an admin can.
I was
do.
gonna say, it's having an assistant, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
Just don't import your contacts like I just told Lisa, because I am over here deleting 500 at a time, and it imported
Okay.
even blocked contacts.
See, that's what my problem was, and we have PieSync is in your back, somewhere back there,
PieSync.
PIESYNC. And it's a way to suck all your data or all your contact stuff into your command, and I did that, and it duplicated, triplicated, and when they, to be fair, here this little baby infant they called Command, and everybody left, family reunion, I'm still back here, and I'm like, sweet, I can turn off Buffini then, because I was paying for that. And so I sucked it all from everywhere, and I was like, what, 5,000 problems is what I ended up with. Nothing's, so do it in bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
Drop it down maybe into a CSV, and then you can manipulate it, and go, oh, this is duplicated, because you can sort it. You can't do that you don't know what you got. It's like trying to sort using a card file, but you only see one card at a time.
Right.
So you don't know if you can sort, if you were gonna sort a card file, you dump all the cards out on the table, and that's what a CSV file or, a sheets or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can manipulate those.
Can I ask, since you've referenced Buffini a few times, and until I found Keller, that was the path I was planning on following.
Mhm.
All the research I did early on,
Yeah.
Buffini trained agents make like a huge percentage more than other agents, according to all of the stuff that I was chasing. So do you feel that the Buffini training you had prior to Keller, to me, it just all stacks up, like as much exposure as you can get
Yeah.
to different
As long
ways
as
of
it's not
doing things,
conflicting, yeah.
as long as it's not conflicting, right?
So
Exactly.
what I loved about Buffini, I did have a coach, and I did not like that at all. I was like, this is worthless. I love to absorb anything that is mindset stuff, what I can do, what I don't believe I can do, but I can do, and getting past that hurdle and all that kind of stuff. And I was teaching this coach that. I was like, this is BS, I'm out.
Right.
So I use the database, and I listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of different podcasts.
Right.
Sometimes I listen to Gary Keller's podcast, and sometimes I don't.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna be mad right now, and so I'm not gonna listen to that. And I'm gonna listen to a different one. It's fine, it's a different perspective. Tom Ferry, I've listened to that, but it's not where I hang my hat. The stuff that's in Keller Williams is so robust. This is my meal, I use my salt and pepper out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I came, I was party too. That's my brokerage. The broker and me. There were 3 other agents, but they were working their day jobs, and they had no interest in really, I don't know why they got their license. And so it was just me who was doing it all. And I had a huge split. And then I had to go pay for $1,000 course up in Fort Collins. That's an amazing course too, a lot like this one. And it's 3 days and it's expensive. And then I started getting that money back when I was closing deals. It's awesome. Brittany went to the same one, so we talk about it all the time. I'm like, oh, remember when they said this and blah, blah, blah. It's so similar that what works across the board, everybody's teaching it, just using different language. So yeah, go out there and get all the information that you can, and where you resonate is just fine, as long as it doesn't conflict. Or I feel that the Keller Williams system is what everybody else is teaching in their own language.
Right.
So, you know.
I've
it's
talked to a
like,
lot of people that have left where they were before to come to Keller. You know, I think Ryan's one of those, right? Wasn't he like a Coldwell guy before and then he came to Keller? or
He
something
was
like
with Richmond. Oh, yeah, he was with Colbert. So was Solomon, who couldn't be here today either. All right, so we're gonna talk about how to feed your database today. Whether it's prospecting or marketing. So do y'all know the difference before I go to the next slide? I'm assuming that's where the answer is for y'all. Do you know the difference between prospecting and marketing?
I feel like prospecting is more proactive and marketing is reactive. You put your marketing out there and then you react as stuff comes in. Prospecting is more like digging the hole, you know, being out there actually.
Active and passive?
Yeah, proactive and reactive, active and passive. I kind of can see the similarities
Yeah,
maybe.
I can see the similarities. So, anybody else have any guess when I expand on that? Anybody in Zoom land?
Prospecting,
Yeah,
go after them. Zach, it's me. Prospecting, you go after them. Marketing, you kind of put yourself out there and you let them come to you. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean by active and passive. I think that you're saying the same thing. So, did you have something to add, Zach? Since Gabby shut you up, your work wife shut you up.
Yeah, she does that normally. Yeah,
Work
honestly.
sister, I'll say that.
I was gonna say prospecting. She's too young. Prospecting is like how you close a sale, and marketing would be how you speed up a sale. Would that be correct?
Tell me more about that.
So prospecting is like going out and searching for leads. I mean, finding clientele and trying to figure out how you will close the sale or the deal. Marketing would be putting yourself out there, or marketing a transaction, or marketing, like for instance, real estate. Once you sign a buyer agreement, you go out, or a seller agreement, and you go out and you try to market the property to help speed up the transaction.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yep, yeah, that's exactly it. It's prospecting, I think of as the people you know, and going out there and actively, if you were fishing, if this was a fishing scenario, one of these is you know, casting, reeling in, that would be prospecting. Dropping your crab nets and waiting is marketing.
So I would see it as like prospecting is searching for,
Yeah,
and then,
actively searching.
and then marketing would be promoting.
Yeah, almost baiting. Yeah, for sure. So this is why the sphere is so valuable, is because your immediate is in your sphere and in your prospect. So what we are is prospecting based, marketing enhanced. You don't go after, well, let me back that up. You could throw out a whole bunch of marketing, but guess what it costs you? Money. Guess what prospecting costs you? Time. Both of them, I'm not gonna call it expensive, but both cost you. Just one's time. And what do you have a lot of right now? Time. I mean, comparatively speaking, I'm guessing you don't have the money just to throw, poke against the wall and see what sticks. And if you want leads, that's where marketing is, where leads come from. If you want to do that, then find what somebody else is throwing at the wall and do that. So don't go at it blind. Don't go rogue because you'll cost yourself a lot of money and get frustrated. Okay, and I don't know that from experience. No, I really don't. I don't do a whole lot of marketing. And that's one of the things that, the only money that I have put out is to my sphere, just to keep top of mind. So your sphere is where you're gonna create new, repeat, and referral business. The vast majority of my business has been through my sphere. My very first transaction was a mailing I was telling them about yesterday, where I just mailed people that were non-owner occupied in my town. And I mailed to every single one of them the value of their home and asked something about if they were looking to sell. That I live in their neighborhood. I think I started in my neighborhood is what I did. So, it can be effective.
Well, that's a non-owner occupied. You were mailing to the tenants to see if they wanted to buy, or you were mailing to the landlords to see if they wanted to sell?
I was mailing to the landlords. So in public record, there's oftentimes the address with their name, but it'll say do not mail. And then below that, it'll show their mailing address.
Uh-huh.
And that's where they actually live. And then I search their name and find out they own 8 properties. I don't care where those 8 properties are, they're all getting their values in there. And I don't spend time comping value. I put a disclaimer that this is your AVM value, which is not something, it's not the estimate. I don't know if it's any better, but I disclose it's the AVM, and so it's not a lot of work. You can have somebody fill out a spreadsheet for you with the AVM and when they bought their house. You know, if they refied in the last, I also scrub that list in different ways, so if you look, if they refied in the last year and a half, they're probably not looking to sell, you know, because they pulled equity more.
So
than
how
likely.
often do you this is something that's come up a couple times in conversations. You just mentioned the public record. I feel like there should be maybe an awareness. I still don't really fully get how I see the potential power of knowing how to navigate those systems, but I don't know how to really dig in and apply that to my
Yeah.
daily.
For us, you just use Realist. And if you don't, which is in our MLS. So when you go into MLS, there's Matrix, which is how you search for homes, and Realist, which is your public record for our purposes.
Right.
Yeah, I know, I can dig in a little bit deeper, but you can use
So like I could go
Realist.
into Realist in my neighborhood that I want to farm, right? It makes sense to farm the neighborhood you live in.
if you're
right?
gonna, yes, and if you wanna pull your neighborhood, I think Remine is the way to do it, which is a little bit more clunky, and I can show you how to do that.
So is there another opportunity, so I don't distract from Ignite, but is there another opportunity I feel like there's a dozen things like that I wish I
Oh, yeah.
understood to know how to look for and
Yeah.
do. Because to me, I'm way less likely to go knock on every door in my neighborhood than I am to send mailers out in my neighborhood. But if I've sent 3 mailers out in my neighborhood and I've invested the capital into that, the follow-up walk around will be a lot easier, because then I'm not a total stranger. You've seen at least 3 of my mailers.
Right, and
You know.
especially if your mud's on it,
Right,
then they know that who's at their door.
right.
So I would do hang on a second, before I did Remine for you, because you already said, who can I hire to do this shit?
Yeah,
Land title. Call them up and say, hey, ask Sana, who's our new rep. Walk me through exactly how you pull a list. Tell them exactly what you want, how many, and they'll send it to you and say, say you want I would not recommend a gigantic farm. I don't know exactly where you live, but even in my neighborhood, it's like 1,200. That's too many. I can't walk that. I can't, that would be my business. Which if you want to do that, you should do that. But make it where it's a little bit smaller. Maybe it's 200 houses and you're gonna hit whatever that is, 50 a week for the month. So you do your mailings and then you door knock 50 a week, 50 a week, 50 a week, repeat, 50 a week, 50 a week, 50, repeat. And then you're gonna start getting business out of that 50. And then once you've got those people know you, like you, guess what? They're around that peripheral, they're gonna be able to move out. and recommend you, oh yeah, so-and-so's on this other street, well, great, you've already organically grown to that other street, but now you can ask land title to move you out a little bit and take in, maybe it's another 100 because you're like, I got this door knocking down pat.
Right.
So now maybe you don't have to go to that section as often. So you can go to that outer ring that you just did, that new ring, and do them. And put the inner ring, the people who already know you, on more of a monthly instead of a weekly, or a quarterly instead of a monthly, because you remember you had them, even though you were doing the work every week,
Right.
they only saw you once a month. And then you put them on a quarterly, and then you get to know these people monthly. And then it expands and expands, and make sure you're getting all the information and putting them in command, and they're on a smart plan also, and inviting them to the Halloween thing also, and inviting them to the pool party also, and giving them a pumpkin also. And that's how you stay top of mind. And there are people who make big businesses by door knocking.
Right.
If anybody wants to door knock with me, I'm probably going in the morning. You're up for that. So, but seat in my pants.
I have a few questions here, if I could jump in just really
Okay.
quick. So, I mean, I think, some of us might be a little bit ahead, but I've been listening, for the past, whatever hour or so. And just, it seems like we're all in the same place, because I have some of the same questions. And what might be kind of good for us, our little group here, is just to come in together and bring our computers in and start working through command and helping each other a little bit, kind of like a study session. And then since Amy's in the office, we could go to her as well. And I would be up for that, because, these sessions are great, but maybe coming in an afternoon for whatever works for our schedules. And that way we could all get up to speed on command, get up to speed on making sure our contacts are updated, because some of you are ahead of me on some of that, and you're much better at technology. That would be one of my suggestions. And this is just coming, I guess, from a student or a teacher perspective. The other thing, again, and also looking at, like, I was talking, yesterday with Zach, I was like, I need probably some help as well. And, and just, working together, all of us. And then the other thing too, in terms of the door knocking, I have a little bit of experience in that. Let me tell you something. The mailers cost, and I don't know what your experience is, but mailers cost a hell of a lot of money. I mean, we sent out 13,000 mailers, and they're just kind of like, I don't know, 5x7 or whatever. And to go out to 13,000, that cost me $8,000. And obviously we're not going to send out 13,000 mailers, but I mean, I like the door hanger a lot better. I can get 1,000 door hangers through Vistaprint. They're very high quality. They run me about $300, $250, something like that. And I'm telling you, you can hit 50 homes in probably about an hour and a half. And because only 10% are coming to the door. And even if you do the ring messages, and really I should say now, we would just be going down, the rows, so you could really knock those out. With me, I'm using like a freaking app, and I'm like looking at that, and I have to put in information after each house. We're not doing that. We're just really leaving literature, and people will come to the door. So, the door knocking is not as intimidating as it feels. And I would not have said that 6 months ago.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm intimidated.
Yeah, I
You can come
wouldn't
with
be.
me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all, because we're talking about homes, not about politics. So,
A big
trust me,
difference.
trust me,
A big difference.
trust me. I think this will be, and I would have no problem, whoever wants to go out and door knock and show, I could help out with that once the election's over, because it's super easy, and people are usually friendly. It's just the no solicitation when they have those signs on. I
Yep.
kind of avoid those doors.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
I think he said he's gonna do some sort of like a group, like a study session like that he was planning that you guys were planning to do that, right?
Yeah, we are. We just gotta get our calendars together. Ricky's gonna be in this afternoon, and we're gonna get the calendar put together more. But I think what we'll do is do like a beginning of command. And everybody can be at different levels, and it be in here when we can get the room. And if we can't get this room, we'll go into a different room. I mean, we can do it anywhere, really. We don't have to do it here. So, and just make sure that everybody can kind of get their command up and running. Because you can have all your stuff in a database and not be feeding it and not be communicating with it, and it's not gonna do you any good. And everybody starts at this place. So, the difference is, I mean, like, really, David, I think that you probably would, if you weren't distracted right now, doing something else,
Right.
you know, then you'd be further along this thing, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There are resources, it's just a matter of, you know, who learns which way. You know, Gabby's a little bit further down, she's been here a little bit longer, but let's all get on the same page, absolutely.
Yeah, my personal goal, and I think I mentioned this, I know I told Amy this, is to have as much done by November the 8th, one way or the other. So that if I lose, I'm ready to go, you know what I mean? And just be up to speed. I think everyone else is, you know, obviously that, you know, has the same mindset.
Yeah.
And I think we can help together. I think, you know, what you're talking about doing a group study session would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be great. You up for that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, all right,
Is it all right if I bring Allison to stuff like that? Because we're trying to navigate. I feel like she's got such stronger skills in computer land and language land
yeah, maybe you don't come.
and
If she's gonna do all this, you don't need to
I
come.
feel like I still want to understand how to do everything, because I feel like, well, Allison, well, our dynamic that we're talking about is having her kind of be admin, but also pretty strong support to me. She's not the kind, she will never go door knock. She will never do lead gen that involves cold calling or door knocking or anything like that.
Yeah, Ricky either. just
She'll
so
go
you
to,
know.
she'll go to yoga classes and start talking real estate with all the girls at yoga class. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
So it would be valuable to me to have that extra funnel in my world, right? And also
Yeah.
somebody who can stay on top of the database stuff, because I just know myself and I'm not gonna do it, but I see the value in it. So I'm willing to pay someone else to do the shit that I can't slow my brain down enough to deal with,
Yeah.
you know?
Wait,
Yeah,
so if
absolutely.
we have somebody who's doing admin work for us or assistant, we can have them come with us?
Yeah, yeah, you can. It doesn't behoove, my assistant, well, at the events thing, she was there with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that Charlotte is
Oh.
my admin. And then, she comes to other things so I may even bring her into that group, because she's been in my own command and she can move around in it.
Right.
And be another person, because Amy, I don't know if Amy's schedule will allow her to be in, to do that, but I'll check with her.
I just see the value, like right now, my command, who's done anything in there? My transaction coordinator. Who's in my command? Everybody I'm close to deal with, because my transaction coordinator put all their stuff in there for me.
Yeah.
But there's no tags on them, there's no
Yeah.
birthdays on them, there's none
Yeah,
of that
that's
kind of
only
stuff.
because she has to do the back office stuff and the opportunities.
Right.
And then to get the DA.
Right.
So we used to have something different, it was awful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what they're trying to tell you to do. You wanna be, I think what they're saying is, look, this is the different ways that people are gonna think about you. And so you need to make sure that you're responsive, you have attention to detail, professionalism. You have empathy, clear communication, so that when you ask for referrals, which is another source of lead gen, to call your other people and say, hey, I hope I did a great job. Could you give me a 5-star review? And I'm gonna send you over an email that you've already typed up with the links in it. And so you don't have to do this over again. It's a system. Don't repeat. If you do the same email 2 times, you need to have that saved somewhere so that you never have to type it again. When I send hire me papers, that's what I call it, when somebody hires me to fill out the listing agreement or buyer agency. It's that email that goes with it, explaining everything that I want to explain, is already typed 1 time. All I do is change their name. Thank God I did that. And then an offer letter, it always say the same thing, it's blah, 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 let me introduce you to my blah, 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 da, 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 da. Here's my lender information, all I gotta do is change that. Here's the highlights of my offer, blah, 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 in like bullet points, sign. I copy it from my doc into CTME, because CTME won't do that, and there it goes. And I have that ready so that when my client signs, then I just, my brain, I will forget to send over an offer because I think I have, because in my brain, I already have. Does that make sense? You gotta find out what is your, I have hangups. Let me move around my hangups so I can still do business. So that's what I've done. If you type an email more than once,
Do you store those in a, like a Word doc or something?
yeah, Google Docs is your friend.
Google Docs.
And use Google, the Google Docs that's attached to your email here, your G Suite, because it's very robust. You don't have to pay for extra storage and stuff, and it's all there. Not your personal. Okay,
Your
then you can move
Gmail.
it over, you can share it to it, I mean, who cares, but it's clogging up your other one. I'm out of, space on my personal one,
Oh,
it
good.
gets pretty.
Yeah, I pay Google a lot for extra space.
Yeah, well, I think I do, and then I'm like, I'm still out of space, what in the world? Okay, so to succeed at a high level in real estate sales, you must commit to frequent contact with the database with the intent of building close relationships. So we're gonna talk about how you are talking to people, how you can communicate systematically, and as your database, if you got 6 people in your database, you're putting that in your phone. You don't have to like build this out, huge, robust, something or another. But think about if this was 6,000. So take your database and project it. Can I keep doing this when I'm doing X number of deals? I mean, your brain won't go from 4 deals a year to 400 deals a year. Your brain will go, no, just no, and you won't get there. So go 4 deals a year to 10 deals a year to 20 deals a year, do that, do those jumps. Whatever makes sense. If your brain likes it, do that. Don't jump, make it humongous. But in this case, the reason I'm saying that is you need to make sure that it is, you can expand it out. What am I trying to say? That was that word I'm looking for. It's not attainable, duplicatable. Oh, but it's not duplicatable. That's not what I'm looking for.
Is that a word?
Yeah,
No, it's
it is. I'll think of it in a minute. So, okay, so this is talking about your tags, and it's not gonna show you the thing, but like this person right here, they say VIP, I use A-list, same thing. So I've got over 2,000 people in the database. I'm only going to be communicating on a personal level to a section of them. The whole database may get emails and whatever that's coming out of the smart plans, but the people who get my time and energy are the people who, when I call them up and say, hey, it's Gwen, I don't have to say Gwen with Keller Williams. In fact, that sounds weird. I'm your mother-in-law. Why would you say you're Gwen from Keller Williams, So that's my A-list. That's what I name it. You can name it whatever you want to, Nick's Peeps. I don't care what you name it. Nobody sees it. Doesn't matter. How do you know them? Right here. I know them from golf. This is Evelyn's, or mine say ACAD because that's my, the school. If I know them from school. I know them from school and church and homeschooling community, and they live in my neighborhood, all those tags. You could have bunches of tags. It's quite all right to have that. A lot of mine say no phone number because I don't have their phone number, I only have their email. Or I communicate over in Facebook, which is another link that you can put in your command. So filling that all out is vital. Here, this one is military, and this guy's an investor. So some of mine may say buyer 2020, or seller. Sometimes they say lister. So sometimes I duplicate myself in a weird sort of way. But it may say lister 2020, so I know that now it might say out of state because they listed and they moved. So now I may pull them off my VIP list, but not that first year because I still know people here who may be looking to have the same kind of lifestyle they have. And I can get referrals. But after a couple, 3 years, I'll probably move them off my A list and just communicate on Facebook and through smart plans and around birthdays. Does that make sense? Because you never know when that referral might come in. And then this one, maybe this one was a referral. It was, mine will say referral, or referred. If I know you referred me somebody, you now have a referred tag. Now, I don't care who you are, you went to the A list. So my A list people get a little bit more pampering. So you gotta figure out, what does my A list mean? Buffini does A, B, C, D. D, I've heard it said, you're dead to me, but I don't want to take them out of my database because I don't want to forget that I had them in my database and they became dead to me. So, you know, dead to me could mean you use somebody else. Maybe, it may be that I'm bitter and that's why I labeled them that way. But you've got to use your database the way that you will use it. If you're like, oh, it's okay, you'll catch me the next time, maybe. And the reason they didn't use me is because I wasn't doing my job. And that's why I get bitter, because I'm mad at myself, really, not them. Well, a little bit to them, maybe a lot. Okay, so then maybe this one here, just these little things, like I said, kids, I'm gonna invite them to this thing, dog lovers. If you do a biscuit drive or something like that, or a 5K walking your dog thing, like the scurry, furry scurry, whatever it is. You wanna do your own furry scurry. It's a,
That's a weird
it's like a 1 mile, it's not very far, but it's around, it's in Denver or at Cherry Creek. I can't remember exactly. I think it's with the Dumb Friends League. I think it's a benefit for them. And everybody's out there. My dog would be losing his mind because he'd want to play with everybody. Look at me. So if you want to do something like that, then that's how you start tagging those people as you know that they have dogs. So it's real, these tags, use them, use a lot of them. It's not gonna hurt you. You can always delete them later if you have to, feel like you have too many. Okay, so this right here, your different sections are gonna get communication, different kind of communication depending on who they are. So if they live in a certain neighborhood, maybe you're gonna give them market stats in that neighborhood. If they are an investor, you may give them different kind of market stats because investors think differently about their market. So we were talking yesterday about people being scared in the shift class. And investors are going, shit's on sale, yay! And do I buy shit now or do I wait till it goes on clearance? If there is a clearance, you don't know. So do you have those people and how to communicate with these people? And then here's your buyer. We always have gone up in the past. We don't know what the future holds, but based on the past, here's where you're blah, blah. This is how you can communicate with them. Today it's about how you're communicating with them. So, because you've got to be the market expert, which is what we talked about yesterday. So in MERA, it talks about a 36 touch. You'll see this over here. I believe, I want to say it's more than that, but not by a lot. It's like 36. I think it might be 39 or maybe 41, something like that. That is the best way of staying top of mind. When you first get a contact, there's an 8x8 plan. So you want to communicate with them once a week for 8 weeks. So this kind of talks about this, how to communicate with a lead. This one's quarterly phone call with a lead that comes in. That's not enough. Excuse me. Then you've got 12 touches, monthly emails, 2 touches. That might be a direct marketing or calendar, or maybe their birthday. Oh, here, this one's this annual event, a party, movie screening, get together. That's 19 touches. And in your contacts, it's a little bit more robust, as you can see. Phone calls, those are quarterly. There's a system for this. It's called DTD2. Do the database 2 times. But you're going through it. It's more often than that. But that's quarterly. And then bi-weekly email. Maybe that's your market touch. You've got events through the market center. We've got two big events, Santa, and the pool, you know, summer and winter. And then we've got the small touches. So you've got somebody who doesn't have kids, wouldn't come to the pool, doesn't have kids to sit on Santa's lap, wouldn't come to that either. What do? Do a pop-by, they don't care. You just showed up at their door, here's a fat pumpkin, would you like to carve it? I'm doing a carving contest, and I'm gonna give you something for a price. So pepper it in, make it yours. I get it that they wouldn't come to Santa.
You mentioned pumpkins last time I saw you here, and I tried to use the QR thing at the front desk and it wouldn't work, so I didn't get on the list. Is it too late to get on that list?
Pumpkins will be here on Saturday. And I would do your tags for you, if you wanna just buy pumpkins.
Is there pumpkins to buy?
There, no, not off this truck.
Oh, if I want to buy pumpkins, it's
Yeah, if you
separate.
wanna do it, yeah, I'll make your tags for you if you want.
Do you guys have a source that you're sourcing pumpkins from that I could call and be like, can I buy 30 pumpkins?
Yeah,
at
it's
the-"
down in Monument, I don't know how many they do, we just got a bulk order, it's a big fat truck with 15, you know, those big
Yeah.
squares that are at Costco.
Yeah.
Costco had a pretty good price, King Super has the big fat ones, 2 for $14 right now. Ours won't be that big, ours are gonna be volleyball size,
Uh-huh,
they're not even really carving size, but I don't care.
right.
And they don't have to use my pumpkin, I'm gonna put out that carving contest to my whole sphere.
Yeah.
As soon as I get my poop in a group, which is my favorite saying, by the way.
Poop in a group.
And everybody will be invited to the pumpkin carving contest. And here's my things that I'm doing and all that kind of stuff, but then some people, 24 people are getting a pumpkin that I'll invite them to do that with too.
Right.
So, yeah, you don't have to do the pumpkins in order to do a pumpkin carving contest.
Right.
And then use hashtags and all that kind of stuff that we were talking about yesterday. So there's another, I don't know if it's gonna be in here, but nope. All right, so there's an 8x8. If you get a lead in or you meet somebody brand new and you really want to solidify this relationship, I would recommend an 8x8. One contact every week for 8 weeks, and then put them into this. Because that is, it sounds like you're gonna call them every week and not have anything to talk about. That's not. You're gonna email them. Yeah, it was great to meet you. Open house, let's do that. Okay, so you're at an open house, somebody comes in, they're now a lead. They may or may not buy in the next however long. But you're gonna start communicating with them because you are now their realtor. They don't know it yet. Okay, so you're trying to solidify that. So you're gonna talk to them, maybe send them a video from the open house. I do my videos from the open house before anybody gets there. Hey, it was so great to meet you. I'm in the house. You can see it behind me, you know? And I'm looking forward to whatever your spiel is, building a relationship with you or helping you with your real estate needs in the future. Click. That goes out to everybody, but they don't know. So that's my video. I didn't say a name because that would be weird if I called you Nick. You know, you'd be like, what? Delete. And then in the text, I might say, put me in your phone so that you know that I'm calling, you know. And then I make a funny because that's who I am. And I'll say, you know, Grinham, my favorite realtor with KW. And here's how I want you to put me in your phone. And that's one communication. Thank you for coming to my open house. Then the following week, oh, I was just thinking about you. This house popped up, had a price reduction, is coming soon, whatever, in the same neighborhood that I got my listing. I'm already watching it anyway. Why wouldn't I send it to them? That's number 2. Number 3, we hopefully by then, so that first house that you met them at went under contract, maybe send that in an email. By the way, the next one, by the way, would you like for me to set you up on a search so that you can see what all is happening in your neighborhood, if they were a nosy neighbor, whatever their need was? And then maybe send something after you, if you're gonna send something, do it later in your little plan, so that if they tell you to get lost back here, you haven't spent any money on them.
Would you set someone on a search that isn't signed with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, nobody's gonna set, I got searches like, whoop, days. Because they're curious, they're nosy, they wanna know what's happening in their neighborhood.
It takes like 3 seconds to set somebody up on.
Yeah,
Doesn't cost you anything.
absolutely. And it's your top of mind now because you are popping into their email all the time. Yeah. Yep, all day. So, and then, so you do a little gift or whatever, you kind of get the point. You're peppering in, but you're always bringing value. It's not about you, it's about them. So as long as you have that kind of mindset, you're golden, for sure. Okay, so this is how you're gonna communicate with value. And here we're talking a little bit more about taking your contacts. You can access them in your command app if you want, and in off the computer, off of the desktop version.
Is that what database versus database? What's the differentiation there?
I think
Okay.
database is what we already have, and data bank is where you're. That's what they mean, like,
Okay.
we all have databases, it's in our phone. But when you're systematizing your communication, it becomes a data bank. I think that that's their intention. I'm sure if I had this slide in my notebook. Kind of disappointed that, it doesn't follow along. Okay, so do y'all have ahas? Does anybody need a pie break or anything like that? Anybody? Everybody?
I just want to reiterate that I feel like it would be huge value. A lot of newer agents, myself included, could probably value a lot from some sort of summarized concepts, like when Michael said to me the other day, like, well, or during the shift thing yesterday, he said, I was like, well, I'm trying to take a stance because I've come to realize that my sphere here in Denver is too working class to buy houses in Denver. I need to expand my reach into different socioeconomic circles.
Yeah.
And he said, well, where could you go right now to meet the most potential buyers? I was like, I don't know. Go do open houses. It's a simple concept, but people that don't understand the depth, it's really hard. And I don't envy your position, but as a teacher, it's hard to unwind your brain before you knew any of this shit.
Right, yeah.
Because the truth is that we're so like, I'm still learning to crawl and you guys are running a marathon. So I can watch you guys whip by me real quick, but I'm not really
Okay,
able
so,
to do what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you brought that up, because here's what I want to make sure that, were you on Zoom on Monday or
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Whatever the beginning of this
No,
thing
I
was.
missed the first class.
Okay, so the very first class, Ricky talked about how things are dumped out, resorted, and gonna be Mobetta. And so we had Rockstar Agent, and Amy was filling in, doing coaching and doing her regular job as well. Ricky and I are taking over the productivity coaching together.
Which is what I was doing with Britt in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right, because a year ago, I was a part of Britt's productivity coaching group.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was on every Zoom,
Exactly. That's what
everything
we're
that I
building
could have
out.
possibly done, I was doing.
Yeah, we're building that out again. So I think that you're gonna see a lot more systemization. We're gonna have a calendar, you're gonna be able to pick and choose. What I will challenge you is that you're not going to know everything. There's just no way.
The minute you feel like you do, you're losing.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like I said yesterday, you never step into the same river twice.
Right.
You're different, the river's different. So while you can feel like, okay, I know command, guess what they do every single Tuesday?
Update it.
They change
They
shit.
change shit.
So now you're going, for the love of monkeys, I just learned that, and now you've changed it. So you're gonna be this way, and the faster you get flexible and are able to pivot, the easier this business will be for you. The market's changing, because there's a lot of stuff changing. The market's changing, buyers are changing, sellers are not changing, and we wish they were. We're changing, command's changing, the market center is changing, people's roles in the market center are changing. You get my point? I mean, there's a lot of change. So when somebody comes in and says, if they were to, I'm not saying you are, but it was this way last week, yeah. See, I'm gonna need you to be flexible. And I'm not saying that you're not being flexible, please don't read into that at all. But I wanted to make sure that you knew that there was a big change. And I think it's gonna be a good thing. And our whole reason to do this, I don't need to do this. but I want to see y'all do exactly what we've done. You know, and that's our heart behind it. I'm like, I keep telling Ricky, I'm protecting my board, which is my business. I'm not gonna lose my business for the sake of your business, because unless you're starting to feed my kids and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? I have to protect mine, because if I'm not in the market, I can't tell you about the market. That's my opinion. How are you going to know what's happening in the market if you don't have a listing or if you don't have a buyer? You're not gonna know. You're gonna know what somebody else tells you. Well, that's great. That can't be the end all be all. So, and you're not gonna pay your bills with hopes and dreams. It won't. And we've got, lots of people have them. Not everybody does. They start picking them off, because I want to teach you to think big. That I'm a big proponent of that. Think big. We talked about a little bit like that yesterday. I'm like, you've got to think bigger. The people group that you're talking about, they have the ability to do something different than what they might think that they could do, but they can't. You know, if they've got 15 kids, they can't go to a condo. But some people, hey, I'm 60, I've never owned a house, and all I can afford is a condo. Great, let's start there. How long do you plan on living? Could you please start investing now? Your future depends on it, because your 401k probably blows chunks right now. Right? But if you were in the market, it would look different. I mean, it's not daisies and unicorns. I hate daisies and unicorns. Actually, I do love daisies. But unicorns I don't like. I'm not gonna be one of these that's like, I'm not gonna give you Harry Berry. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let you, you're gonna have a lot of pushback. But, can't help you. You've got lots of buts. Fair?
I feel like I'd like to open up the opportunity to email back and forth with both you and Ricky on stuff, because I feel like I have a unique perspective that I kind of did this first year of coaching. This is my second time through Ignite.
Yeah.
But like I went hard for 5 months straight. I was 5 days a week,
Yeah.
multiple times a day, doing Zoom things, doing whatever I could find to possibly enrich my awareness and my capacity to try and tackle this huge thing that is building a new career at
Yeah.
46 years old, you know? So for me, I feel like I have a lot of questions that I think other people could really benefit from. Like, for example, probably the third or fourth time I've heard someone say, oh yeah, the title company can help you figure this out, or you can go into public records to figure this out. And still, I don't fully understand how to utilize those things. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to the title company. What am I here for?
Well, you're not
Or-
gonna go to the title company.
Well, I might want to get a sales pitch because I want to understand
No,
better
they
what
come
they're
in
doing.
here. And I just talked to somebody because I canceled my appointment earlier in the week, Wednesday, I think. And I said, hey, by the way, we just took over productivity coaching. We're gonna need you to come in and give a class on marketing. She's like, great, let's get it on the calendar.
Right.
So that's coming.
Cool.
So we're in this like, today's Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we'll get it, we'll have a really robust calendar. And at the same time, I need to caution you, do not sit in here and do this instead of being out there doing business.
I think a lot of confidence comes for new agents from hearing you say it's okay to go do this, it's not okay to do that, or hey, utilize this resource that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
But you can tell me to utilize the resource, and because I didn't know it existed, it's such an abstract thing. It's like, here's a hammer and a screw, make it work.
Yeah.
How does that work? Well, if you beat it hard enough, you will get two boards together, you know?
Right, yeah. What, Melissa?
So are you a part of, Smedra at all?
Nick?
I actually, this is a weird one for me, and it's a question I should ask at some point in time, I suppose. I live really far away from here.
Uh-huh.
Well, who's your? or
Demo.
your- Okay, so.
Oh, okay,
Deemer has
Demo, okay.
classes.
Right.
Okay, so,
Tons of classes.
yes,
And
okay,
next
so,
week, we're gonna be, for team meeting, we'll be at Smedra. You can see if you like it, because your dues are
yeah,
up. If you haven't paid them, maybe you like Smedra better. They have
because
so many classes.
Right.
yeah, and that's what opened the door for me, is what I had a really, everything you're saying, I feel like you must be like, I'm in exactly the same position you are, and we're the same age. So like, I'm totally with you. But what opened the door for me was Smedra in a lot of ways, because they really outline a lot of things for you from like kind of start, like right at the beginning. And so it really opened the door and just kind of so much clarity. It was a lot of ahas. So you may want to just look into maybe DMAR, if they've got some stuff like that.
Yeah,
Right. I think I
and
might-
they do, that's their whole purpose in existing.
I think
Yeah.
I'm likely the furthest north agent working out of this office, living
Where
up
do you live?
near Lakewood.
No,
No?
no, Carrie Hemingsford lives between here and Wyoming is what Ricky says, but she really lives, Arvada.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's just a little north of the Arvada.
Yeah, and then, the Johnsons,
Do I not
Rich.
get a shout out?
Rich,
Come on,
what,
do I not get a shout
where
out?
do you live? Shout out?
I live 5 minutes away from DIA.
Oh, yeah, so that's fine,
oh
I want
shit,
a
yeah.
shout out.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, you can help me on my new listing coming up, because I'm having some timing issues.
That's great.
And it's in Greenwood, or Green Valley Range.
That's better. Are you sure you don't want Lake Bishop to help you?
Who?
Lake Bishop, you don't know him? Good.
No, but I need to door knock the poop out of that area, so you're my girl, because I don't want a listing up there, but I bet you do, in your backyard.
Yeah, that'd be
Right?
nice, especially
Let's do
since
it.
they all keep going up for sale.
Have you door knocked before?
Yeah, I don't really know, I was gonna ask, I don't know like what to leave,
Oh, I don't think you,
really.
no, well, that's not necessarily true, depends on at what stage I'm door knocking, but. Yeah, let's talk, because this will be, so. What I think Ricky and I are gonna do is like, he's gonna take these things that he's really good at, and I'm taking these other things that I really am passionate about. I don't know if I'm good at them, but I love them. I'm like, we should talk about that, because I love that stuff. So Legion is gonna be one of my things that.
You could
and
do
it's
like, Dave was saying, do like a Vistaprint thing, do Vistaprint or Canva or whatever.
Oh,
you-
Canva.
you wanna do.
You can print them here, you
Print
can
door
Yeah,
hangers.
there's.
Or
I
flyers
have,
or whatever
okay,
you
so
want.
I have these bags, see, I got them on Amazon, I got them like a year and a half ago.
Oh,
I've
I've
had
seen
these
them.
forever, and they're bags with a hole right here, and they just shove on, and I'll put cutesy things. Excuse me, I bought off Amazon, they're probably no good anymore, but I don't care, I'm not eating them. Costco little container of candy, you know what I'm talking about, it's this big and it's squarish.
Yep.
Of Red Hots. And so I put something on that, another, like in this house, another property hits this Red Hot market, blah, blah, blah. And throw in a couple of those, those hot
That's good.
atomic bomb things.
Yeah.
In the bag, goes on. And the reason I like that is the little thing, the bag thingy is because then they don't blow away. And I put a little weight in them, so they're gonna stay in there. But I gotta wait till the political thing's over, so they don't think that's what they got on their door. But I mean, like, you do have that struggle, but otherwise, how are you gonna connect them? You should not open somebody's door and shove your shit in there. Please don't do
Or their
that.
mailbox, because that's illegal.
Or open the mailbox.
Wait,
and
what do
put
you
them in
mean
there.
open the door? Sorry.
Like a storm door?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, people open those?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got
Let's
so
see.
many things that are like somebody
Prime-
shoved in there.
Prime example, telling people to go out and door knock is a good way to do it, but not explaining that that's not politically correct or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, because
Like,
not
to
politically
me-
correct, but just like, it's not appropriate. You don't
Appropriate.
touch people's stuff. Or
I
here's
just-
here's another thing I never would have thought about. I use tape. I wear this, I don't know how dudes do it, so I can't really help you there. But a fanny pack probably. I use a crossbody. I have all my cards in there. I have, can see exactly what
I
this
can just
crossbody-
imagine you walking around.
I know,
Zach
but
has
it's like a
burst.
little tiny purse and it's got a pen, some cards, a clicker, because I wanna know how many people I talked to, not how many people I've door knocked. I've
Huh.
got, all my cards are in there, cause otherwise I'm like struggling around trying to carry all this stuff.
They're like, look this
clipboard,
on us.
And I look like I'm selling solar or something,
So
so
what
you
you
don't
just
do
said
that.
though, like I would never have thought to bring a clicker. I would have never thought to have
Well, I
tape or
didn't
rubber
do this.
bands or
I didn't
any.
do this before, But yeah, I'm out there and I'm going, oh, I need such and such, and then I run back to my car because I'm a mom and I have everything except Band-Aids because I don't believe in them. And then,
What?
that's what a scab is, it's God's Band-Aid, it's fine, it'll work itself out.
Yeah, but the thing is you don't wanna like get blood on everything, 'cause that's the whole idea.
Paper cut
For
from
me.
door hangers, now everyone's got a
Yeah,
little
right,
spot.
exactly.
Exactly. They're like, who
It's
died?
Hansel and Gretel, you know, so I have that little bag and all my little, a pen, a Post-it note, you know, packet thingy, little pad, and then, my cards if I'm doing that. But if I'm gonna do the bags, then they're hooked on my arm or my hand. And I only do so many and then I go back and move my car.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends. The clicker came later when I was thinking about how many conversations I, it doesn't matter when you're doing the listing, if you're keeping track for bold or for your accountability partner, it matters.
So
And
Sue, was
then-
that just so you could track like your
Yes.
DPA basically?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So how many people did I contact before I actually talked to somebody, or how many doors I knocked on, whatever. If my goal is just advertising, then I don't need a clicker. You know, but I did buy 3 of those. I don't know where any of them are. I was gonna say, I don't know where 2 of them are. Nope, don't know where any of them are. Probably my kids have them. I might have one in the car, but it's so easy.
This goes back to that whole process though, where to you, it feels really easy, whereas to me, I feel like I'm looking at a 14er about to try and hike that
Yes, but
thing.
it didn't. You know what I did first? I just went out there and did it. And then I was like, oh, shit, I really need this. Okay, so then I peel back and do something different.
Right.
You're gonna go out there having not done that and go, why does she need a Post-it note?
And my,
What difference does this make?
The-
And now it's not my process, it's, you're trying to make it your process.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but still, when I have nothing, when it's just a totally blank slate, to understand what 1, 2, or 3 other people have done in their course of learning their process.
Yep.
I mean, I could tell you that I'm gonna teach you how to write in Chinese, and it's gonna be a process.
Right.
Go get it.
Right.
And you're gonna be like, this just looks like a bunch of lines and squiggles to me.
Right.
I'm like, well, just figure it out. It's a process. That's what it kind of feels like to new agents, to have experienced agents tell us that you just gotta
And
go
the
do it.
experienced agents were sitting exactly where you are.
I get that, but when you go to somebody as your teacher, as your mentor, as your guiding star, it's nice if they're like, okay, so let's learn the Chinese alphabet first, not just, hey, it's a process, you're gonna learn it as you go.
Yeah,
You
but,
know,
and there's different places we're gonna teach you. So that's a class on door knocking.
and to my point, all I'm trying to drive at here is I see so much value in the coaching program. I see so much value. Why am I here taking Ignite classes again? I already did this.
Yeah, because
I'm-
you're gonna take it 2 or 3 times.
Because I'm not in the same river.
Yeah.
I'm not the
Right.
same guy in
Yeah.
the same river.
Yeah.
My life has changed a lot in the past
Yeah.
year, and I'd be willing to bet almost everyone else's has too,
Absolutely.
including every buyer and seller out there.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of value to me in every one of these classes. But I'm trying to figure out how to maximize the value, because to me, time is a more valuable commodity than dollars. I can
Yeah.
generate dollars,
Yeah.
but I can't make more time.
So even door knocking, if you have the dollars and not the time, then you give it to a teenager that you can trust to go do it.
Well, that's hangers. I'm not gonna have a teenager introduce themselves as me and, hey, I see your
No,
house.
they
is-"
don't introduce themselves as you, but they can say,
But door
hey,
knocking
by
is
the
that,
way,
right?
well, it depends on what the door knocking is supposed to do. Is it supposed to advertise the listings down the street?
Right.
Hey, by the way, and you could do this for, it doesn't have to be your listing. I'm gonna say, if you're out there to farm it, it needs to be you.
Right.
Or whoever you're gonna partner with.
Just so you both know, this was a fantastic conversation. I mean, I love every bit of this. And like I said, I know the training that we're getting at Keller Williams and what you're offering here and talking about how to door knock and everything. Trust me, on the political side, my party, there was nothing, no training. They told us how to use the app and good luck, go. So this is so much better.
And how do you feel that that represents your interests?
Well, that's a whole different conversation that we can have about why my party continues to lose in this state. But anyway, it's, you know, and that's the reality, right? And
Party, whatever party it is, let's just say it's the, you know, mauve party or the. you know,
yeah, it's not
fuchsia
good.
party. Who
It's
cares?
not
It's to my point, it's more, go out and do it. Sure, you can hang stuff on the door. You can go talk about your perspective on politics with whoever you door knock with, but at the end of the day, you would have so much more confidence going into that, and you'd probably have a lot better results if somebody took the time to express, hey, I've had these things have found to be successful for me. These things didn't really work for me. Maybe they'll work for you, but not for me.
I
And
think,
but in any case, here's a few things to try.
but I think that's what we're getting here. I think that's what I'm telling you is the difference. And to a degree, though, even when you go through the training, you do have to get over that mental hurdle of going up to someone's door and either just leaving the literature for advertising purpose, or, you know, or just getting out there and do it. There comes that time. And I know that sounds, you know, but we do have the training here. And that's what I'm seeing coming in, just like you've been here longer than me, I believe. I just signed on in August, and I'm seeing just tremendous education and tremendous support. So I just think it's really fantastic. But I understand what your concerns are. Trust me. I lived it.
Yeah, we'll get there for sure.
Yeah, and
We're gonna
all I'm
lose
really,
January.
all I'm really trying to get at is I love what's being offered. And I feel like because I've done this once before, I have been here for a year, but I haven't been practicing I have real estate conversations with people every day because that's something I learned in my first few months.
Yeah.
I haven't tried to sign a buyer or a seller since May. Because I found that the time I was putting into real estate wasn't generating dollars, and I needed to generate dollars. And because I have another business that there's a very clear, you put in the time, you make the money.
Yeah.
And so I've been putting all my time in there till I got to a point where I have a little nest egg saved up again. And now I'm ready to really focus on real estate. From now till February, 80% of my focus is going to be what can I do in business development to make sure that when the next busy season is happening in real estate, that I'm playing a much bigger role in it than I did in this past busy season. Because this last one was a weird one after like a 5-year run of having the easiest listings you've ever had. Because I don't care how shitty your house is, I'm going to sell it in 2 days. And now it's kind of like, well, I know you thought that's what was happening, but if you don't totally fix this place up, it's going to sit on the market for months.
Yeah.
You know, it's a much different conversation now. And like Michael said yesterday, I'm actually excited for the opportunity to see the attrition in the realtor pool.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all you easy money chasers, go away. I'm ready to work for mine.
Yeah, Coles is hired.
Yeah.
You can go
Kohl's.
down there, just whatever department store.
Everywhere is hiring.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question about signs?
signs, yeah.
So like, you know, like the for sale sign, can you put a coming soon sign like a month ahead?
We have coming soon writers.
Yes, you're
You can.
asking, well,
Well, my neighbor, he's listing his house, I'm assuming. And they have the sign and they have like the coming soon for 2 weeks now, and it's not on the MLS and coming soon status or anything. Is that allowed? Like, can I do that? Or,
okay, so the sign went in the yard,
and there's a coming soon.
okay, but it's not in the MLS
Nope.
that's coming soon?
It's not on the MLS at all.
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah,
you
how-
have a cert, I wanna say, is it 72 hours?
Yeah, I
It's
was
been a minute.
thinking
Once-
there's like 3 days or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Okay,
rule about it.
so
Yeah,
I will
that's what I
say,
For how long it can be coming soon.
yeah,
But it has to be on the MLS, doesn't it, if you're gonna be
if the
marketing?
sign's in the yard,
Right.
it has to be on the MLS.
Okay, that's
Now,
what I
he
thought.
could
Cause I can put a sign in my own house.
just
Unless
because
it's
you're
for
out.
sale by owner, but I assume this is a real, like,
Coldwell.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, you have to have it in the
Okay.
MLS within, and I'm pretty sure.
So
it's
shoot,
2
if you
days,
could do that, I was
72
gonna
hours,
do
something like that. Now, I will say that your writer doesn't have to be changed out with every status. The real thing is on the MLS.
Yeah.
I've got one that I turned active this morning, was coming soon for 2 days.
I saw it, it's pretty.
And I am not planning to take the coming soon rider off. And the reason is, I mean, the real thing is over there. And the reason is the perception of it not sitting and people are passing it up to the neighbors.
Okay.
And that's the only people who are seeing it. I mean, it's on the street it's not a through street. it's just the neighbors. So I want the perception to be, not that it's sitting and nobody's choosing it. People looked and people passed it up. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Cause we're going the third week now and they're still not on the MLS and I'm like, I wanna do that.
Call the sign or find out who's the broker part of it. Just, yeah, but that's not.
I have one down the block for me that's been, had a sign out front for months and it's never been on the MLS. I thought maybe it was an agent owned property or something.
No, weird. I'm sure that that is the case. You have to have it if you're gonna have the sign. Now, I've used the sign, and the reason I say this is because when I first started, my broker taught me to put the sign in on Friday. It hits the MLS on Monday, so you get some free time where it's advertised, nobody's paying attention over the weekend anyway. And then we put it in the MLS on Monday. Our coming soons were a lot faster, or we didn't have a week. I don't remember how many days we had, but it changed. So now you have a full week, and then it would go active, and then you hold all showings and stuff.
When should the house like officially be active? Like what day of the week do you think is better?
I usually do Thursday, but with the coming soon, so they changed another thing in the coming soon. You used to not be able to book your showings while it was in coming soon. So now I don't know that it matters except for when your showings gonna happen. Once your showings start, then you should have your active at the same time. So I'm not really sure that it matters there. Hi. How's it going? Okay, so with the database, you need to, the 4 laws, remember what they are? Building the database, feeding the database, talking to the database, and then following up with the database. Is that what the last one? Service all leads, sorry. And then don't quit. It says too soon. I say don't quit. You don't fail at what you are doing until you quit. There's no failure in it. So if you're afraid to fail, just don't quit. Right?
Hello. Together.
This is like this.
Ew.
Gotcha. All right, and then don't forget the 36 touch campaign, which is even a little bit more, and solidifying that with a lead, making it more like the 8x8, that we talked about. And then you're always thinking long term. So remember when I was joking about the new people that are dead to me? They'll probably be revived eventually when I forget how butthurt I was that they used somebody else. Yeah.
Your buy dirt shirt, when you look at it from an angle when it folds just right, it looks like it says butthurt. If you just see the V, then a U, and then the R and the T.
And then I said.
Like the I, like it totally looks like it could say butthurt from the same.
Okay, a little derailed here.
That's what I do.
Rookie's here. Exactly.
In all his glory.
The derailer.
Alright, and just always, you're servicing these people because you want them to be clients. And you're also want them to have the best experience in real estate. You should be thinking that you are the cat's meow in real estate. Right? Do you know that one?
I love all your little sayings. They crack me up.
You can't say homeowner without the word meow.
What?
You write the word homeowner right in the middle, it's MEOW.
Do you?
How do you know this?
He says it to buyers all the time.
I do. You'll never read that word again either.
When he
Just
sees a
saying.
cat, he's like.
Gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it's what I do. It's like-
Okay, so this moves us on to that second section, which is really, if this follows mine, it's gonna be much more of the how. So, I think, Nick, you're gonna really like it. So we talked about a little bit about the daily success system, having 10 conversations every single day. Adding 10 contacts every day, writing 10 notes every day, handwritten notes, and then social media. That 10-5-1 is 10 likes, hearts, whatever, some sort of what's that called, interaction?
It's 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 private message.
Exactly, 5 comments.
I can't believe I
one
remembered
social
that.
media one down. And then the enrichments are, just your other things like, hey, I saw it was your birthday. How's it going? Maybe it's door knocking. Maybe it's talking to your hairdresser because you got an appointment. Whatever that is, but just doing this once a week, daily. And Saturday, Sunday, you're fine, you can take that off for now. One day you'll be working 24/7 because that's what listings and buyers are. I'm like, I find it cute when people say, yeah, it's Friday. I'm like, yeah. What does that mean to you? But what it means to us is completely different. So, you guys have any questions about this?
And handwritten notes.
Yeah, so it
I've
is a
seen
lot.
2.
I thought it was a lot. Buffini teaches 3, I think.
A
Yeah,
day
Ninja
though?
Selling does
A
too.
day.
Like, I don't have that many, unless I'm like sliding notes to the lady at the checkout counter at the grocery. I just don't have that many people to drop notes on.
That's what this next section is, how to build that. So, and you might not. You have let's say that you have 6, or you're rock people. That's probably a dumbed down term for you, but for your other business, yeah, I was just thinking about you, buddy. That's your handwritten note.
Right.
You have their address. Pop it in
And
there.
if not, look it up on
People
Realist.
get bills in the mail, and that's it. So they want something different than that.
I'll tell you, I just got a call back yesterday from a friend of mine in my sphere who I think may or may not be able to, it actually had nothing to do with real estate. It was literally just like, I miss my buddy because he's a good friend of mine. He used to work for me, so I spent every day, all day with him.
Yeah.
And now I haven't hardly seen him in the past 2 years. And so I just left him a voicemail. I tried to call him to say, hey, and I was like, hey, I got your voicemail. Just want you to know I love you, man. I miss you in my daily, and I hope life's treating you good, dude. Let's get together soon. He called me back yesterday. We made 3 plans to hang out in the next month,
Nice.
you know?
That's awesome.
So yeah, it does matter to call out and drop some positivity on some people. There's a lot of negative shit happening in the world. So if you can be
Yeah.
a little moment of happiness for people, that's a good thing to
Then
do.
they love it. Absolutely. Okay, we are talking about, did I blaze through all of it? I told you it was short. Maybe it says prepare for next session. Let me back it up. Because there is no forward. Okay, maybe I have. So how about we ad lib this because we blows through everything and we talk more about, I don't want to jump ahead to open houses because that'll be your next session. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Does Ignite cover anything when in regards to safety, like in our career?
No, it doesn't.
Can I ask
Um,
another question then? Do you guys promote, or does Keller Williams have a policy or anything when it comes to safety for your agents?
Yes, yes.
And nobody knows it.
Currently, I am using the Forewarn app. I downloaded the Forewarn app. I just wanted to make sure there was something, and then I'm gonna obviously listen to what you guys have to say, just because, I mean, I am concerned about that. That does bother me a lot, and I think one of the reasons why I was scared to get into real estate is because of safety. I mean, I'm a very personal person, and I do get worried that my personality, not my
Put you in a bad place.
yes, where maybe I go into open houses and then, I'm having a conversation with somebody, but then maybe they stay around too long. And obviously, I think I saw a couple stories too while I was listening to a podcast from NAR when they were talking about safety, since it was safety month last month. And, some women have gotten in some really bad positions and that just makes me very nervous. So.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, okay, so let me tell you 2 things. Actually, I'm gonna tell you more than that. Okay, so when you go, this is going to be, guys, I'm sorry, this is gonna be from a female perspective. And there is nothing wrong with you using the exact same tools to keep your own self safe, because you don't know, when a creeper is a creeper, you
Yeah.
don't know who they're after, so, you know, if somebody's interested in chopping somebody up, it doesn't matter if it's a male or female, that's what I'm saying. You know, if that's their MO, so. Couple of things that I do, I rarely, most of my, all, with maybe 2 exceptions, I've known the people I've worked with. So then you build a rapport and it doesn't feel as weird, but even still, because I want it to be a habit, there are certain things that I do. So I walk up to, I don't know if y'all can see me on Zoom land, but I walk up to this, maybe my door. I walk up to the door and I cock myself a little bit this way, so the clients are over there, and I do the lockbox. And I'm still talking, I'm aware, and I'm still talking to them. Get the key, open the door, bang, 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 open it a little bit, go realtor into the door and slide it open, and then I stand back and send them in.
Okay.
Why? I want them, well, first of all, to get the first impression. Wow, this is amazing. Instead of having myself in there. In their first impression. So that's one thing. That's across the board. I like this for letting them enter the room. I tell them then there, I step in with them. I turn around, fold up the lockbox so you're not banging the side of the door frame and stuff. And make sure it shuts all the way, lock the door, key in your pocket. That's just what I always do. So I lock that door, I've got the key in my pocket, not back in the lockbox, because I don't want the next realtor coming in. This is my time, and yes, I own that time. And if it's crossed over, whatever, they'll knock on the door, they know they got locked out. And then I'll go, we're probably done by then anyway, if it's not their house, right? Okay, so now I'm in with my clients, we taking off our shoes or we're putting on booties. Your shoes should be something that you can take on and off quickly. You're vulnerable if you're down here like this tying your shoes, right? Okay, so don't do that. I don't care if you're like 10 feet tall. It's still not a good, it's not even a good look, you know, honestly. How professional is that? So, and so you're wearing those kind of shoes that you can slip on and off. And I use the booties a lot. Beginning of COVID, for my clients that I knew well, I had their booties in a plastic bag, hers and my booties in a little plastic bag. And we took our own booties in, wore them around, took them off, put them back in our bag, because you don't know if there's gonna be booties in there or not, and we didn't wanna spend the time taking off our shoes. So
Right.
that's how we handled that. That's another option for you. It was,
Yeah, I have booties.
I only did that once and it was more of a pain than anything, but sometimes, oh my gosh, as a realtor, please have nicer booties. I don't want to put on your disgusting booties from 2 listings ago
Right.
that are threadbare. Throw that crap away. What in the world? And nobody throws anything away. That's the other thing, that's the sidebar for a listing, have a trash can there. If you want them to throw them away, have a trash can there, because otherwise they're going on the floor. Because people are rude and inconsiderate.
Yeah.
You just have to figure that. All right, so we're at the front door. We let them in. I got my key in my pocket, and I'm wearing stuff that's my buyers, my people. I'm probably dressed like this, except I'm gonna have different shoes on. In the winter, it's booties. In the summer, it's probably flip flops. And please do your toes, because you want to still look professional, even though it's easy, you know, to get in and out of your thing. And don't walk around somebody's house with your bare feet, because now you can see the hot footprints all over. All these things, like to your point, you're like, never would have thought of that. You're not gonna go barefoot more than likely in a house. True?
Probably not.
Sock feet, maybe. Sock feet. Oh, one time, I was all prepared. For some reason, I had to take my shoes off and I'm like, these have a hole in them. And I would like pulled them out and then tucked them around and then walked around the house like this. So nobody can see. Make sure socks fit. I mean, and match, all these things that you don't think about, but you have to walk yourself through the scenario. It's like the reason you wear clean underwear when you leave the house. You never know, right? Same thing. You wanna have your socks match, not have holes in them. If your toes might be showing, then make sure that they're, don't look like talons, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, we haven't even left the front door. So then, once you're in the house and you're walking around with them, your client should be in front of you, never behind you. You're gonna go see a basement, open the basement door, walk back and go after you. Men love to send the ladies first. No, after you, I insist. Don't do it. Do not put yourself between the spouses. You don't know their MO, and I've seen it on the news. There are people who tag team that.
Yeah.
So don't be that person. Don't
Yeah.
put yourself in the center. Now, I happen to, I drove Lyft and Uber, and so I do have a little taser. And I highly recommend this little one that I have, and it's a great flashlight. So that's how I can get away with carrying it around. This is the best flashlight I have. My cell phone is not a good flashlight at all. You can get way back in there in a crawl space with this flashlight. But one more button and I got you. So, and it's got a little thing on, a wrist thing on it. So if they take it from me, it won't work anymore. So they can't use it on me.
And where do we get that?
I got mine, you can get them on Amazon, I'm sure, but I got mine from Damsel in Defense.
Oh, I love Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon's my friend.
And Damsel is a network marketing thing, so if you don't have a contact and you wanna look at that, I'll hook you up.
Yeah, that'd be
I like that one because it's rechargeable, I don't have to worry about the batteries going dead, I don't need to be like half zapping them, and now they're pissed, So now I've gone through, same thing for up the stairs. I've had people say, you go first because I'm slow. And if it's a grandma, I'm going first. I can take her. And we're on the stairs.
That's what she wants you to think.
Right.
She like takes off her shirt, she's got like a six pack, she's ready.
Right, exactly. So then, let's see, what else can you do? So making sure that they always stay in front of you, you don't get in front of them. And leaving, same thing, you're sending them out, let me do that, you're doing the exact same thing, only backwards. And there's gonna be a time that sign calls are where your danger is. It's not with somebody who came and met with you, signed a buyer agency. Those people are probably not your problem. It's somebody who drove by, wanna see a house, that your sign, if your face is on your sign also, they're like, ooh, she's hot. I bet she'll come over here and show me the house.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's where we can get in trouble. I don't put my face on the sign. My kids were really happy about it. She's like, oh, good. That would be weird. I'm like, thanks, babe.
I think it's weird.
It
I see a lot
it
of
is kinda weird.
signs. I see a lot of signs, in particular, attractive young women love to make themselves this big on the sign, and then like the phone number or the real estate office this big.
Yeah, call me.
Yeah,
It's about the house.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hesitant to put my picture on my business card, but that's just because I'm not photogenic and I don't like pictures of myself. But
well,
I don't want to put them on the signs either. So
I don't put it on the sign and I do put it on my card, but not because I'm passing my cards out.
Yeah,
Because, the easiest way to get somebody else's information is by offering them to send them your B card.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
So
better.
I'm gonna, I don't have a card with me. Let me send it to you. What's your text? What's your phone number? And now I can send it to you.
Yeah.
And I didn't have something like that.
And just for the record, I am pretty photogenic, but I don't have my photo on my business card either.
I wasn't allowed to
I
put
love
my
that.
card because of safety. So then I would say, so we do have a protocol here though, y'all all should know, and we will make sure we know who to call. All of you can call me and Ricky, and we know this protocol. So here's the scenario, you're at an open house
Mhm.
and somebody comes in that doesn't look on the up and up, and they start talking to you, these people will not leave I don't, whatever that scenario looks like. And you find a reason, well, like, hang on, I just got a text, maybe you pick up your phone, you gotta be good at ad lib or have. Yeah, you gotta be good at ad libbing something. But maybe you go, oh my gosh, so hang on, I gotta answer this question from a different client, do you mind? And they'll probably say, yeah, don't look creeped out. And then start texting me or Ricky. There are some other people who in the market center know this too. Anna knows it. I know Brittany knows it. We need to make sure that everybody knows this. And it's called, hey, can you get me the red file on 123 Main Street where you are?
Mhm.
Please don't tell me the office, because now I have no freaking idea where you are. And now you can, if you can, be on the phone, because now you're on the phone. Hey Gwen, can you get me the red file on 123 Main Street, that being where you are? And now on my side, I'm going, are you okay? Yeah, no, that should be okay. You need to be able to ad lib with me. They're hearing your conversation. It
Right.
can't be like, there's a creep here. You know, this is covert operation here. So now I'm gonna be asking you yes, no questions. Are you safe? Yes, no. Do you want me to call the police? Yes or no? Do you want me to come to where you are? Yes or no?
They can chop you up too.
Right, I know, exactly. You know, oh, I would come with heat. So, you know, just like, what can I help you with? Are you just feeling creeped out? Are they still there? All those things.
Yeah.
That is what the red file does for you. You can always call us and ask us to get the red file for you.
And just so you and Ricky know, I'm very comfortable in my ability to take care of myself.
Bring on the heat.
Yeah, I'm trained. I can put people out of commission. So
Yeah,
if there's
that's
ever,
awesome.
if there's ever like, I wish a 6'3" ginger that looks as scary as Nick looks when he's mad would get there real quick, just call
Yeah,
me.
that's it.
Okay.
Good. And that's what I want us to be for everybody. Even if we, this would be too cumbersome more than likely, but even if we had, you know, like Lisa, every time that you go do an open house, you call your partner, whoever that is, maybe it is Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm doing an open house at 123 Main Street in case I need a red file, you're my guy.
Yeah, and I'll just
I'm
put
gonna
out
be
there-
out of town, so please don't call me about the red file, but probably Ricky could be your backup. You know, we need to communicate that.
Yeah.
Because we need to have each other's back.
I'm just saying,
We
I got a
just-
daughter, a wife and a mom. When my daughter gets close enough with her girlfriends that she's bringing them over to our house, they all know, like, if you're ever in a weird situation, I don't care if it's 4 a.m. and
Yeah,
you're drunk and you wake up in some dude's backseat of his car or some house you don't feel comfortable in, call me and I'll come get you.
Yeah.
You know, so like, that's just my blanket, my
Yeah.
sphere, my circle of people know that I'll be your guardian angel when you need it, and it won't be weird. I won't judge you. I won't question you. I'll just be there for you.
Yep.
You know, so.
yep, that's exactly it. Yep, and there's just, the other stuff is just the protocol. Okay, Melissa mentioned forewarn, and everybody here is a Smedra except you. So have you seen or asked them if they have this? It looks like this.
I have heard of it. I actually have.
Okay, you can
Download
go to Smedra and download it from there, because I don't know if it costs.
It
And
doesn't.
It doesn't,
No, they.
no, it doesn't for Smedra members, does it?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't for Spectrum.
So to go through Smedra to it, it's pretty cool. So you could put in, which phone number, Gabby?
It is really cool.
419-4772.
4772.
Yeah.
All right, so I put in Gabby's phone number. See where you been, girl.
Oh,
So then, oh, you're possibly deceased. That's so sad.
wow. I'm
No,
dead.
so it shows, so here you can see 3 different phone numbers. It's not, it's like skip tracing. It's not the end all be all. It's not exactly. So I'm meeting a Gabby Gurin and I'm
that's
going, oh,
weird. I don't
let me
like that. Holy crap.
oh, dude, I looked myself up. You want to do that?
Okay, well, but a great example is I had a guy named Jared send me a text message and said, hey, Melissa, I'm looking for properties, blah, 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 blah. So I put it in my forewarn and it came up with nothing. And so the guy at Smedra said, when it comes up with no records, it's pretty much a spam, you know, just block it, move on.
Yeah,
Okay,
so.
so that's how you use it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you would check it out, because let's pretend for a moment, I don't know anybody who's got some weird stuff going on, but you have, I wouldn't have shown anything if it was weird, but you know, you can see if she has any criminal record or anything like
Wow,
that.
I don't. That's surprising.
Oh, that came up, really?
But I
Go
did.
ahead.
Then you-
So then
okay,
you can
that.
see, look, it says you have an alias, it's
What's my
probably Gabby.
alias?
Gabby,
Oh,
yeah, see?
that's
Shows it
creepy.
right
What's
here.
my dad? Does my dad have a criminal
Was
record?
that him right here?
Gordon, yeah, that's him. Ah, shoot.
Yeah, but then you can see
Five
phone
equals-
records.
What is the app called? I wanna.
Forewarn, F-O-R-E, like golf, warn.
That's scary.
It looks like a shield.
Worse because it just made me, you know, it's made me nervous. And when I was going through the whole, when I was, you know, watching the podcast and stuff, safety was the biggest, like a really big concern for me when it was going into real estate, just because I knew, you know, women have been put in pretty risky situations, number one, and number two, you know, I was just wondering, or I forgot. I just looked at something and lost my train of thought. You know, that's just what happens sometimes. I should never look in a different direction when I'm speaking. At any rate, I just wanted to see
Girl.
if I had safety, but I'm definitely interested in pairing up, making sure that like, because I want to do open houses and, you know, I've got all my stuff and my balloons, I'm ready to go and I'm excited. But then I'm like, wait a second. After listening to those podcasts, I didn't want to be stuck in a situation because, you know, I've had many situations where, you know, there will be men that will come to something, whether it was like a PTO event or something like that, and they'll stay and they won't leave and they'll hang around me and they'll want to talk. And I'm like, listen, I'm glad we're talking and I'm happy to talk, but it's like, I know why you're here, you know, and then it's like it gets that uncomfortableness because I know that it's just
Melissa, just bring me along.
bring who?
Bring me along. I got your back.
Yeah, because like I'm happy to talk, but then here's the problem that I do have, and I do want to be, and I'm very professional, but the problem is that I can also get direct professional. I know, Gwen, I know you can be this way too. You said you're a D, so am I. So here's the thing is that I can get professional, but I also, and people will get, so they'll either love me or they will hate me because they will, and I don't want that kind of relationship in real estate. You know what I mean? I don't want to be rubbing people the wrong way because of somebody who wants to linger for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to pull that direct side of me out because that's when I start to build those, they don't like me and they will get mad and people tend to like hang on to it. You know what I mean? And I'm not evil. I'm just to the point, you know what I mean? I'm still professional, but I'm just very direct, you know, and I just don't want to put myself in anything dangerous or any type of situation like that because I think that sometimes men have power trips and then they think that, you know, if I've, you know how it goes. I don't have to explain that. But
Yeah, I totally get it. I think open houses, you do them with lender, you do them with another party, and you don't find yourself alone.
And thank you, Zach. I'll take you up on that. Maybe we can just, you know, pair up on some open houses. I'm happy to do, you know, Gabby and I said we were going to do something.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel betrayed right now.
Don't be betrayed. I mean, don't worry, I'm not cheating on you. It's like,
Okay, good.
I'm just saying I would love to do the pair ups because I think for me, I would feel much safer doing that.
And the same is for door knocking, you know, I mean, like to bring it, I'm not gonna go into open house because that's the next session and I don't wanna, I think Tammy has that. I don't want you to be getting that early. But it's really important just to think about that all the way around. If you're door knocking in your neighborhood, maybe feel safe to do it because that's where you live. So you know those people, not even like directly, but I know so-and-so lives here. But you know the group of people, so you maybe feel safe to do
We've
that.
been getting taught the buddy system since we were little kids.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Stay together.
And the
And
truth
I
is,
take,
if you can find someone that's doing real estate at the same level we're at, or even beyond, script practice while you're walking up the block, or if you're sitting at an open house, maybe you're entering shit into your database, or doing some cold calls, or whatever you might be doing, baking cookies, who knows, but it's,
Yeah.
everything's funner with a friend.
Can I ask that, how you were saying like the sign calls, that is where you might get into like a dangerous, if it's gonna happen, that's a good
it's a good place for it
invitation,
to-
right?
Mhm, Yeah.
So what is your suggestion? I mean, is it like, hey, Nick, this guy, could be kind of creepy, would you meet me? Like, how do I handle that?
Oh my gosh, I hate to say it depends.
Yeah,
I had last year. Yeah. No, it was at the beginning of this year. So it's such a different market. It feels like a completely different year. That's how different this is, but it was at the beginning of this year. I had a sign call. I had one last year, and both of those, I met them. They were a couple. We met outside. I was not in a weird situation. She talked to me. I said, well, I'm happy to show you the property. Because it was my listing, I didn't walk around with them because we hadn't identified customer, what relationship we were. So I just let them walk around and I said, let me tell you, so it was like an open house. And I said, let me tell you that I represent the seller. If this isn't the house for you, I'd really love to help you. If it is, don't talk to me about what you like until we can set some ground rules about our relationship and how to move forward with this house. And they were like, okay. And then so I let them in, and it was a couple, and they were young, and it was, you just have a gut, and it's dope. It's Castle Rock, there was just so many, doesn't matter, Gwen, it doesn't matter, I can hear it all. And it was a gut thing. So I didn't take any sort of precautions. It was just me. My husband knows exactly where I am.
Yeah.
We have Life 360. You can do all those things to make sure that people know. I mean, granted, could have taken my phone, left it right there where my husband thought it was, and that's where my phone would have been.
Yeah. Criminal.
But I didn't do
defense.
anything with that. The other one, same thing. We were talking on the phone first, and she gave me a bad phone number. Gave her kind of my whole spiel about why she should hire me. Because the house she was calling on was already under contract. And I started helping them, and it was just the two of them, and we went everywhere, Colorado Springs to way up north where they ended up buying in Longmont. No, Loveland. So, I was with them for a long time. But it's that rapport first, but I meet them at like Starbucks or
Or here, I would say, like, let's work in my office, so. I can
if there's
copy your
people
ID
here, it is not where you meet them on off hours.
True.
Because this place is crickets on Saturday.
Oh my God, it's terrifying here when nobody's in here.
Yeah.
I've been in here before when there was empty, and I'm like,
I know, because you hear every crackle and pop.
yes.
And then the garage door and the garage downstairs.
It's so
Like,
creepy.
it took me a year to find out, what is that? I think it has something to do with the garage door. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what it is. It makes that weird sound.
In the same mindset of, I don't know, I meet everybody. Every single real estate meeting I've had that wasn't a phone call happens at a coffee shop or a restaurant.
Yeah.
I love happy hours. I'm plotting out maps of the best happy hour spot in every neighborhood. So that if I'm gonna go meet somebody, I can be like, oh, great, I love so-and-so over here. Let's go meet for
Yeah.
happy hour. You wanna meet
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
But yeah, meeting somewhere in public, snapping a picture of someone's license plate.
Yeah.
Again, where I live, and I am home a lot because I run my other business from my house.
Right.
So like, I'm available. If you ever feel sketched out, I am definitely a big imposing force that will come running to the rescue. But if you're in Castle Rock and I'm at my house, it's a 45-minute drive
Right.
if I'm not sitting around in my drawers. I might have to like find some pants, some shoes, or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever, you know what I mean?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'm not, don't go into it like Nick's gonna be Superman in here in 5 minutes, but
So like, don't ever meet somebody that calls and say, hey, will you show me the house now? Say,
Everybody wants to see it now because they're right
I'd like
there.
to meet
There's
you.
a script around it.
Okay.
So like, well, what is it about this house? You want to keep them talking while you're vetting them, really.
Okay.
What is it about this house that you like?
Okay.
What, do you think that this is the one? How long have you been working with somebody? Who's your lender? Because that'll matter to my seller who that is. Are you using cash or are you gonna use financing for this?
Right.
You know, so all that kind of questioning is just vetting if they're a real buyer. I know, I just saw it and I thought it was pretty. Like, well, do you have an agent? Cause I'm happy to schedule that with you. Let me see what there is. And now you're thinking, all right, now I'm building a rapport if they're thinking about buying. And you're gonna do it on your time.
Okay.
So you're not put on your heels,
Yeah.
cause this is not a good place to buy from. You know,
And again, this is all in relation to sign calls.
Yeah.
Because most often, if you're the listing agent, you're not gonna be the person showing the house.
not typically.
Yeah, not unless it's just I drove by.
Right, I
I
drove
don't-
by
yeah.
and I want to see this, but I got two, that's what I was talking about, I got two buyers that way last year.
Oh, yeah, well, that matters, I mean, that's good, so you wanna have your phone, that was my next question, is like, do you really wanna put your phone number, or do you just wanna put like the MLS listing, or your
Your phone
website or
number.
something, yeah.
For sure.
I mean, again, I'm not nervous about any, like,
Yeah.
nobody's looking at me like, I wanna take
No.
advantage of that guy, you know?
Where
so-
I don't put my phone number on my car.
Yeah.
But that's for a different reason. And I
No,
don't.
I just did that last week.
And I did do that when I was in a different business. It was direct sales. And then I let my husband drive it and I was like, scratching off the back of my car. Cause I'm like, no, unless you follow every single rule, you're gonna piss somebody off. And now you're like blasted on Facebook. And that's the other thing about door knocking. Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
and Dave probably knows this too, is, I got this blank realtor who put this blank card on my door. Maybe I used tape and I put it on their door or their door frame. And when they removed it,
It looked
4
like
days
zero.
later, because of the baking sun in Colorado,
Peel off some paint.
it peeled off paint. And now they blasted me on Facebook. That or Nextdoor, actually Nextdoor is more likely because I don't even get on there. But that can happen, you know, so for that reason, those bags are nice for that. You're not gonna jack something up. It's not gonna.
Yeah, what you just said there is 100%. Like it's, and you had mentioned this earlier about just, just kind of like common courtesy, like don't go through the grass, don't go through the front yard, use the sidewalk, the
Sidewalk in the driveways.
yeah, use the door hanger. If there's some of the storm doors don't have actual, handles, they just slide right through. So I'll just slide it underneath the doormat. And
Yes.
it's it. The least intrusive, the better.
Yeah.
And then because you're right, you don't want to end up on Nextdoor, with real estate and that type of stuff with them saying, because that's going to hurt business. I mean, for sure.
And so would you say it is also fair to say that you could do everything 130% right and somebody's still pissed off, of course?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, in politics, I mean, if you represent the wrong
Oh,
party,
yeah.
they don't like you. I mean, that's already they don't like you. But I mean, in real estate, you're exactly right. Same thing. You could do everything correct and they just don't want that literature that day. They're
Yeah.
just in bad mood and they're like, why are you bothering me? Type of a thing. And you're really not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
you're correct. You can do everything right. Someone's still always going to complain, but there's things, as as you've already covered, we can mitigate. And I'm learning and I'm curious to learn from you and because don't just because I've had experience in this is one way of doing it. I'm not an expert. I mean, I just by any stretch. I mean, you guys have been doing the real estate farming, door knocking for years. And so I'm just sharing my experiences and, just trying to let people know it's not that bad. That's the only thing I'm coming from someone who was a college professor where students came to my class. I never had to go find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I learned door knocking when I was door knocking foreclosures.
Hmm.
The people that you are door knocking are not automatically pissed off. Well, actually, in your case, that might not actually be true. Because people have been door knocking, because if you're door knocking independents, both sides are door knocking.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably are having the same scenario, but
Yeah.
there's been so many other investors door knocking that person who's in trouble. All they can think about is basically you're wearing a sandwich board in their head. You're wearing a sandwich board with lights on it, beaming to all their neighbors that they're in financial trouble. And they do an excellent job of keeping their heirs. And you're ruining their, what they look like.
Right.
So that was tough, but I learned it and I really enjoy it when you can get somebody you kind of catch them off guard and do something different. So that leads me to, I don't know if door knocking is in here, I have no idea, but y'all wanna know how I door knock? So if this is your front door, can y'all still see me over here on Zoom?
No.
No, we can't see you on.
What about here?
Gwen, the camera's all the way at the very top of the ceiling in the middle of the room. So it's not like you can't even see below Lisa.
Yeah, we're just looking at the ceiling tiles. Just kidding.
For real?
Do they look good at least, or?
Yeah, no, they're nice. I mean, but they're kind of old.
Yeah, I can tell.
So you guys didn't see, oh, here, this is for the thing, because it says Zoom or.
No, we didn't get to see the exciting walk through the house, with you standing.
It was so good too.
I know, I was envisioning you like standing aside, kind of. That's what I was thinking was happening.
Yep, that's what was happening. Well, I don't know how to make it move, but I
You can
have
like
the
make
thing.
it follow you too, can't you?
Can I, what if it's not?
Oh,
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello. Oh,
Here we go. Something's happening.
it's a whole, nope. What?
All right, you are doing wonders. It's definitely. Go
It's
back.
just like the exorcist.
Yeah,
Like,
this-
doesn't know what to do.
I think it's like,
Right
Oh,
there.
here Oh, hi. Can you
It was
see me
like a
now?
little dance party.
All right, here we go. Wait. Oh, you can see the top of my head. All right, here, wait, let me see if I can pan it down. Hi, is this better?
Oh, this
My
is awesome.
gosh,
Yeah.
you're there. Look at you.
4 hours later. What time is it? Okay, all right, so this will be my door. All right, y'all, if y'all can see, can you see, will it take me over here? Can you see this?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
there's stop there and then don't.
Okay,
go
so this will be
further.
my door then, because I don't know why that did feel like a door. All right, so this is the way I door knock. So here's your door, and then the yard is over here.
Okay.
All right, so I go, sometimes I ring the doorbell, but most time I bang. And then I walk way out here.
No, banging is scary.
Do you want somebody to come to the door? You could whisper, hey, I'm here. Come see me. So I'm like 10 feet away? Yeah. And 10 is your minimum. If you at all can get like 12 to 15 feet away. Anybody know why I might do that?
Dogs.
Not as imposing, you're not like in their face, like.
That's exactly it. Okay, so here's a screen door, and then grandma's right here, and I'm like right here, and I've moved to here. Is she gonna stand right here?
Uh-uh.
Not unless she's a close talker, right? And more than likely she's not. We just talked about safety. She doesn't know me. I just showed up. So she's not coming
They
out.
hide behind the.
But if I go way out here, even during COVID, and which is another thing that I'm not even gonna teach you how I did COVID because I never wanna go back. So we'll just erase that from our brains. So if I go way out here, the little old lady that's on the other side of that door is more likely to open her storm door and come right here. She's not gonna come any further, that's fine. But then I can give my spiel because I'm way over there. And people wanna be close to have a conversation 5-6 feet away. So it's gonna give her an opportunity. If I have a 6-foot bubble, we know about those, and she has a 6-foot bubble, she can come out and our bubbles aren't even touching anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's huge for door knocking. If you stay on the porch, then people don't know what to do with that. And they're probably not gonna open the door.
I've had people like hide behind the door. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, push it on your head.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can't push it if you're doing it right way out.
Yeah.
And that's something, I took a class on door knocking as an investor. That's where I learned that. All these little piece things. Even some of the, I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know if all the politicians do that, but I've had a fair amount that get off my porch. I can't stand that. my dog's trying to get out, so I need to get out, and now I'm like, my back's literally against the concrete of my house. And the solar person is like standing on the porch, so I'm like, you're in my way. I can't move unless I'm going back in the house. So it's annoying. People they don't know how to properly get out. So I can get out and feel like I'm more comfortable. Because I'm not even in arm's reach by that time. So you can't grab me, ish.
Okay, just showing houses, that's the one that you were giving an example of. So you knock on or you open and you go realtor, and then you step aside. And
Yeah,
let
do
them
you-
go first?
Yeah, do you know why I shout in realtor?
No, because you
It's a
don't want.
naked guy, you get dressed real fast.
Because if
You
somebody's
hear what
there,
Gabby said?
yeah, in case somebody's
Yeah.
naked.
They forgot that they had a
Well,
showing and they're
yeah.
there and they're.
Okay, so one time,
Uh-oh.
I have a couple
Underwear,
stories.
you're-
I always have stories, y'all, but so one time I opened and billowing pot smoke comes out. I look at my client and I go, like, do we even need to see inside? She goes, nope. And I locked it all back and shut the door. But inside, thank God we didn't go in because, oh no, maybe this is a different one. Okay, so a different one, we walked in and there's talking. But I couldn't figure out if it was are the people talking? Somebody on a Zoom call? Upstairs? Where is this? And I finally, all the bedroom doors were shut. Oh my God, the whole time I was just like, with my little taser flashlight, I'm like, oh my God, I was so freaked out. And I was showing a single mom. So it was just the two of us and maybe her 11-year-old daughter. I mean, like, hey,
Prime picking.
you don't know, right, exactly. It's the trifecta right here. So we're going through and all that I did see was TV going, but it was so creepy the entire time. Another time, this is what sometimes happens when your price points are supposed to go up. It just is. So it can happen other places. It hasn't happened to me like that. But one time I walked in and screamed realtor, everything's fine until we got upstairs in the bedroom. And I knock, if there's a closed door, I'm knocking first, because it could be closed because they don't want the kitties in there or whatever, but that should be in the MLS. Note to self, go make a note of MLS. I had 2 cats in my listing. So I can't remember what bedroom it was, but it doesn't really matter, but they were sleeping.
Oh my God.
Oh, my goodness.
There were 2 of them. I think they were sleeping. I don't know what they were doing, but there were 2 of them.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I was like, oh my gosh, so no, we're out of here. And then there was another time that the owners were still there. It was a rural property. And the dad, I don't know, I have a feeling that it was a divorce situation and that the husband, the guy goes into the half bath on the main level that we hadn't seen yet for 45 minutes. And I looked at my client, I go, well, we could go back in and see that half bath. And my client, the guy goes, I don't think so. Like, I agree, let's go.
Ugh.
It was so weird. So you're
It's
gonna,
weird when they're there.
so weird.
Why are you here?
Yeah,
Go
I've shown
away.
like maybe a handful that the sellers have been there.
Yeah.
Or, they're working from home because that was a thing.
Take your laptop to Starbucks for a minute. Go away.
You said yes to the showing.
Right.
Bye. Yeah, it's bizarre. All right, do y'all have any questions about all the different ways that you can lead gen? Now I'm filling time. I
Is
don't,
that it?
I
That's
don't have to, but yeah, it's, okay, so some of these, wait, let me get my. This is how to tag, and who you're going to be talking to. I found my slides. The ones that didn't match my, oh, did you? Yeah, they're the different types. And, here's a slide though I really liked. I was thinking about, I'm like, damn it, I wish I could find this. Change the way you look at things and things you look at change, that's a bold law. That's a really good one because it's just perspective, really. We're kind of what we're talking about shift in the market. And since we're going to, since we're going to be doing this command class anyway, I don't feel super impressed to go back and do this, but you know, like, how are you gonna lead generate? What are your options? What have you tried? I will tell you that when I first started, I took Ignite a couple times as well. And it was like, okay, we're gonna hit the phones. Well, like Ricky said, I don't hit the phones. I don't hit the phones. I call my sphere. They're like, okay, here's your list of FSBOs, here's your expires. I'm like, I don't do that. That's not my market. I don't. I could role play with you because you want to do that. And at the same time, it's all scary. So don't not do something because it's scary, because all of it is scary. Do a little, see if you like it. Do a little of this, see if you like it. Go door knock, see if you like it. Go open house, see if you like it. Do you want to build your sphere, see if you like it. I can teach you how to go to a networking event, or you're got to get your hair cut, you're going to the, I don't know, whatever you do during the day. The guys going to the gym, whatever it is, you're going to the dog park, how do you strike up that conversation that is meaningful enough that it will go into your database? There is in your resources, mouse, in your resources, there is a what happened in Ignite? It's a brain tickler. It's not what it's called. If you fill this out, you'll have a better, more robust database. But it's your people you know. A memory jogger. Oh my gosh, it took me a while. A memory jogger. And I'm pretty sure it's in here, so let me look. Okay, don't laugh at all this little memory jogger. Here, see this ultimate memory jogger from 2019? It's a billable form. So you can go through this and you'll have all of these people to talk to. Okay, well, this was not the one. Oh, this one's this guy's really neat too. This is a 7 levels of communication, but it's the same thing. You could go online and pull up any memory jogger for real estate, and you're gonna find something sort of like this. You're gonna walk through these and just write down everybody you can think of in these areas. And then,
This is something you can find in Ignite. These are suggestions of places to look for
these are
people
how
in
you
your
can build your
sphere
database. Yeah.
that you wouldn't necessarily remember should be in your sphere.
You're like, oh, my kid's first grade teacher. Oh yeah, she was nice. And then
Right.
you're just gonna be a shell, but then you're gonna be able to just jump in there and say, all right, well, hey, first grade, whatever teacher, hey, Miss Susie, I was just thinking about you the other day. How have you been? I wanted to, are you still teaching first grade? Are you still at blah, blah, blah school?
Right.
Yes, no, maybe. I just got into real estate and really enjoyed speaking with you, and I thought you might know somebody
Right.
who is interested in doing something in real estate. I always ask them about somebody else first.
Right.
Even door knocking, that's what I say. And then, no, I don't. Well, what about yourself? Have you ever considered making a move, or is that something? No. Third question. Do you have a real estate professional already that you know, like, and trust that you would call if you did have a need? Yes or no? Would you mind if I worked on earning that right to be that person? And this morning I was like, I need to go downstairs and I need to take a picture of the 3 questions that I always ask. And I forgot. So that's off the top of my head. It sounds better the way that it's written, but it's the premise is the same. Do you already have somebody that you know, like, and trust? And make sure you're pausing. Don't do this fast. This is not a quick phone call. But you forwarded them and that whole thing too, you know, family, occupation, real estate, recreation and dreams. And make sure that you flip it. You know, like, you might not ask somebody, where are you going on vacation? It's the holidays, it's no longer vacation time. Hey, I'd love to ask what people are doing for if you could wave a magic wand, where would you go? Or maybe you're asking about real estate. The magic wand thing is that class that I took up north. It's so simple, but it's so effective. If you were gonna buy, where would you go? If you could wave a magic wand and there was no factor, where would you go? I'd go to Franktown. I'd go to Franktown on 2 acres. Really? What about Franktown? Look at what we're doing now. We're talking.
So weird, I'm going there when we leave here.
Yeah. Let's buy my house.
Are you down there? I didn't know that was Casper.
Yeah, and I'm on the east side, so I'm like 4 miles from Franktown. So that's where you might, for the next thing, you know, what about that is good for you? When you think about Franktown, what does that do for you? What would it do for you and your family if you were to go there? You know, and you're listening. How is that? And now, hey, you never know. Would that be something that I could just give you a shout back if I ever saw something I think that you might be interested in? Yeah. And now, okay, what's your email? And you're already on the phone, I'm assuming. What neighborhood do you live in now? On Realist, and now you got their address. Hey, do you still live on Main Street? Yep, sure do. And
Where
as
did you
you're-
find that form again? I'm sorry, I can't.
Well, so
I
this
can't
is
read
not my
all that
favorite
stuff from
form.
here
I
anyways.
will find you the memory jogger, the one that I like. I don't like that one.
It's just
No.
interesting, because I think that all of us probably have people that we wouldn't mind reaching out to that are not. Like, I don't have Ella's first grade teacher in my phone, but man, did I ever have a great connection with that woman.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
I just pulled that out of.
No.
whoop, whoop.
I'm just saying, like, and I know she lives in New York City and she's retired.
Yeah,
So like calling her, I
yeah,
could connect with her on, you won't believe what Ella's up to these days.
yeah.
You know, and so
Yeah.
there's so many levels. I just had this conversation with another friend of mine, because we're both trying to figure out separate businesses, but the idea is I need to start networking outside of my comfort zone. What are you doing to do that? And we came to the conclusion that, like, when our kids were in school, my daughter's 25, she's like a professional. She's like, you know, I don't make friends through her anymore, you know,
Yeah,
but
they're
when
not
she
buying
was
yet.
when she was little, some of my very best friends I've made as an adult, I made through birthday parties, play dates, volunteering at the school,
Yeah.
whatever it was,
Yeah.
where I like totally vibed out with this mom or this dad. And now 20 years later, we're still friends.
Mhm.
You know, I don't have
Yeah.
So
anybody.
you're like
I've
waiting
met-
for that day to come.
No, it's
Mine
not.
are 2 and 4, like we're.
But it's now, but look, so my kids are middle school. I mean, it looks a little different, but I had more friends in your thing. It's just remembering where they are. And I can help you with that,
When you
but
get into kindergarten, and like, I'm just telling you right now,
Yeah.
open your heart to the friends you're gonna make through the school community, because still to this day,
yeah,
my best friends I've made as an adult, I made through the relationships I developed because my kid was friends. Because you get put into it's weird shit to go hang out with 12 other adults you have nothing in common with.
right, yeah.
Only to realize that, like, oh, there is this little thing we both like to do.
Yeah.
Let's go fishing.
Yeah,
And then you're out fishing and having a beer, and it's like, oh, damn, we can connect on a whole different level,
yeah.
you know, or
right.
whatever the
And then
experience
kids are
might
friends
be,
already.
Yeah.
you know.
So my kids are in middle school, 6th and 8th grade. I've got a 10th grader too, but not here locally. So those two are in volleyball. Well, then they pushed out a thing. We lost our athletic director, so they were like scrambling for all things from coaches to parents, and said, hey, can somebody, parent, come and help us do drills with these kids? Because we got a butt ton of these kids, 36 2 coaches cannot handle.
Right.
And I was like, I can, but not all days, because 2 of those days I drive kids back down to Castle Rock, come back up to the volleyball club. So like, great, that's perfect. So Monday and Wednesday, I booked out of here, got kids and took them to the volleyball club, changed clothes and bumped balls with them and, you know, threw things at them and all that stuff. Literally at them. So out of that, and this doesn't usually happen this fast, I have a fire out of that.
No, I
And
wish I was
because,
doing
guess
real
what
estate.
happened? Then they said, you know what, we're gonna need a parent advocate to send out all these emails about communication about this, this, and this. Because these other teachers, one's a teacher there at the school and the other is a coach, but has a full-time job. She can't be that go-between. We need a parent advocate who can take from the coaches and put it out to all the parents. There wasn't even a roster. I'm walking around going, okay, what's your name? Who's your mom? What's her phone number? I got it from there. And then I would text her and say, what's your email? So I have all these people.
I wish I had known that I was thinking about doing real estate back then, because the number,
Right.
my daughter was captain of the club team and the varsity team in high
Okay,
school,
so
so.
here's the other thing that you should do, and even on your personal email, you probably won't want to do it on your business email, but your other business email, but on your business email should mirror the, your business email and your personal email, your signature block should mirror. And if I send from my phone, I don't catch that, so I'm like, I'm not sending volleyball emails from my phone because they don't get my signature block. And people save me in their phone. They've seen my face at least once a week for the last 6 weeks. And all of them are like, thank you so much for all the communication, blah, 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 blah. And on the bottom, subconscious, when, I mean, it's big. The screen's not that big, but you know what I mean. It's like, it's big on the bottom of my email is my name, Keller Williams. It looks like a business card, but only it's big. Sort of like Amy's
Right.
signature like that, but it's in my personal also. Cause you never know. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about doing something and I remember from all those volleyball emails that you sell real estate. You say yes to stuff. That is lead gen.
Yeah, that's what Bruce was saying, is your kids are your gold mine.
Yes, it is totally. And even in that.
Should I have a kid or what do you guys
Right,
think?
yeah, you can have one.
I'm just saying, again, for me, the finding, again, back to the root of this conversation was, it's not that easy to make friends as adults.
Yeah.
Like kids, you can throw a room full of kids together, and
You
they
have a
just,
best friend. That's how
they
you
just
lead.
literally coagulate into like-minded groups without even realizing that they're doing that. But as an adult, you throw a bunch of adults in a room and everybody's kind of, "Oh, I don't want
Well,
to talk."
not high eyes, they'll all find each other, but
Again,
Yeah, and
I'm
that's-
trying to learn how to make friends as good as I did when I was a kid right
yeah.
now. Because
sure.
for me, I'm a little standoffish.
Yeah.
I'm sick of everybody's shit. The last couple of years have been rough on me psychologically
Yeah.
because I don't care what your opinion is. I don't really want to know about it. Because everybody's opinions, everybody is all of a sudden like, they forgot anything that they identified with besides their political standpoint.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's
It's true.
just identifying by their politics. I'm like, nobody even used to talk about this shit like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
why
now
is
it's
this?
The only thing.
I literally said to one of my friends, I was like, it's been like 5 conversations and you haven't told me about how your band is doing. And we only ever used to talk about music.
Mhm.
I definitely understand your political persuasions, bro. Can we move on to the next
We
topic?
do something. Yeah, totally. So I think that's a skill for sure.
I'm trying.
You
I
have to
just got that
network,
book, How to Make Everyone Love You and Influence People or something.
Win friends and influence people.
Yeah, I just bought that book, but
Yeah.
I haven't read a book in so long that I sit down and try and read and I'm like a page and a half in and I'm like, what did I just read? I have to go back because my head is doing 1,000 other things besides I don't even absorb off of paper anymore because I'm like fast scroll absorber. I have about 1 second before I need to move on to the next thing.
So
And that's
you-
a,
That's a long book, even
sociological-
on audio, so you may like that better. Yeah, it's a really good book.
I had Audible open last night. I was like, should I buy this? I feel like I haven't read
No,
that
no, no,
MREA.
Oh, that's not a reading book, that's like reading a manual or
Yeah.
text.
So it's an audiobook. It's a good one for audiobook.
No.
There's
You
so
wanna
many
buy it, and you're gonna
features.
reference it, you're not gonna read it through, you are gonna read it, but more like a reference book. So Audible, the way it works is you can get a free book when somebody just sends it to you, you'll get the first one free. So I own that book.
Because I'm looking at it right now because I'm so easily distracted and I spend a lot of my day, I have to shoot a lot of detailed videos to make the sales I make. So I have my phone in a little tripod and showing my merchandise. But I could tell, because I put a music overlay on almost all my videos, I could have an audio book playing in the
Can you
background.
focus?
Oh, yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Can you focus like that? Like, can you like listen to something and like still like process all the
Absorb it.
information while doing something else?
I don't know, because I haven't tried to absorb audiobooks. I've never done it, but I always have music playing in the background. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? But that's not the music that I put on my video, you know, so building reels is like a whole thing, you know, it's like you have to like kind of, it's actually not a ton of fun to sit down and try and
You
make a
can,
bunch of
so,
reels.
cause I have Audible too, so if you
You know,
send me a book that you
Well,
purchased.
It's interesting. I'm thinking about audiobooks because I think it's a way that the truth is, I'm not gonna sit down to read the book, but if I bought it on audio tape and I had it to listen to in my downtime or while I'm cooking in the kitchen or whatever,
Yeah, see, if I'm doing something else, I zone out, I don't
Eventually
listen.
they think it would be over.
I have to
but
read
that's
it.
not
If I
true.
just sit
It's
down,
not
like
true
I'm
for me.
driving
I mean, you
or
could go
cooking or doing
through
something, I'm not.
and see this
Interesting.
whole
Because my
thing,
brain's going
be
somewhere else.
like,
yeah, my brain is really good at going somewhere else.
all of these.
Oh, yes,
I'm
I'm
trying to-
Really hard to stay in the moment.
Yeah, and I do,
don't
I
have
love
that
reading, I
big
have
book,
like a
I
whole
thought I
freaking
did.
library in my book.
Not that
in
it
my book, in my
matters,
house.
still.
And like I get that all the time, like I'll read like a chapter, and I'm like, oh, okay, so
Right.
No.
What did I just read? That's
I
my,
gotta go back.
so I've actually pulled out some of the old books I used to love. Like I've dug through boxes in the garage to find books I read 10, 20 years ago that I'm still hauling around for who knows what the hell reason. But I'm like, oh, I loved Still Life with Woodpecker by Tom Robbins. What a fun book that was to read. And so I have that book out right now on my nightstand so that I can try and retrain my brain to stick with the sentences on the paper.
You should try and take notes or like highlight, like write little notes in the book, because that really puts your attention back
Annotate.
into what you're reading. Yeah, annotate.
I will say that when I was going through real estate school, that was my first observation, was like, holy shit, it is so hard for me to absorb the
Oh
information.
yeah, I was reading that textbook, I was like,
And so I was so surprised when I went to take my exam and I got like a 96.8 on my first try. I was like, holy shit, they made it sound like it was gonna be as hard as passing the bar to pass this real estate exam.
What's your phone number, Nick?
414-801.
I need to put you in my phone too. Hold on, slow down.
Okay, sorry.
I'm putting you in my phone.
Oh, I have 49, I just have Nick KWPM.
I also have a local number that gets forwarded to this phone, if that's, we have a 414 number, but.
It's funny, we've had a conversation about that too, about if you need a local number, I
Yeah.
don't think it's necessary anymore, because people get a phone wherever they are and they just take it forever.
So I had a family plan because at some point in time I got pitched by T-Mobile, like, if you add a line, it'll actually save you $30 a month.
Yeah.
And so I did that. So I just have an extra phone
Yeah.
and I just had that converted to a local number because it's never been used, but I pay for it in part of my program. So I now have a 720 number on my business card that gets forward, all the calls get forwarded to here. But then when I call people back, I'm calling back from a 414 number.
Yeah.
My sister actually I accidentally called her from the extra phone the other day. She was like, what is this phone number? I don't have this for you. I was like, oh, that's my real estate number. Don't worry about it. It's just a Colorado thing.
How do you spell your last name?
CONNOLLY.
We're gonna put an E in there.
Yeah, a lot of people
All
do.
right, 414.
801-4948. And I'm serious, like, I won't judge you. I won't be mad at you if you find yourself freaking scared at an open house or roofied at a bar, or whatever the hell, call me. I'll do my best to be a part of your solution.
That's crazy. Is there anything else that you all want to talk about right now? I've got notes on command class. Talking to you about Remind, the red file, making sure everybody knows how to use it. And then the memory jogger, I'll email to you.
you know what's funny?
Remind was how to find those owner occupieds,
Oh,
or Remind is one, so it's faster than, like, I can't call the title company, it's 10 o'clock at night. That was funny.
Jesse didn't know about the red file, which I feel like she's one of the people that should know about
she answers
the
the
red
phone.
file. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, in my mind,
And I don't even know the phone number.
yeah, but in my mind, honestly, I wanna get it in my head, so I call an agent, I'll probably call the office.
But not on Sunday.
That's true.
Or
That's
after
like-
hours.
Do you know where the Sprucery Nursery is?
Yes.
That's where I'm going.
Oh, yeah, it's just north of.
I won a couple trees in their auction this last weekend, or a couple days ago. So I'm going to pick up some trees. Once a year, they do an auction on trees.
Yeah, right.
Here's
Oh,
a tree, here's a tree.
I'm literally,
be?
it's part of why I'm going to talk to them, because I think actually a tree would be a great housewarming gift.
Oh, yeah.
I give
love that.
crystals to people. All of my clients, I give them a nice substantial crystal for their house, because you're moving in, here's something for your space that's beautiful, and almost everybody puts them somewhere displayable.
Yeah.
And it's always a conversation, like no one comes into my house without being like, whoa, that thing's awesome. What's up with that?
Yeah.
And so for me to be a part of as you move into your new house and all your friends come over and they see this amazing thing I gave you, then you're like, oh, my realtor gave me that when we closed on the house. He's such an awesome dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, that's been my go-to. But I've also had somebody be like, what am I supposed to do with that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
nothing, I'll take it back.
Right?
You know, like,
Yeah, if you don't appreciate it, I'm taking it. That's funny.
but yeah, I'm going there to pick up some trees I want from Roller Auction. If you guys don't know about Roller Auction, it's dangerously fun. You can get all kinds of weird shit from their auctions, but once a year, Roller Auction. It's an auction house out of here in Colorado. And I just went online. They had like 500 trees. I was bidding on like 6 of them. And I
How
won 2.
substantial are the trees?
Anything from a 20-foot tall pine tree to I think the smallest one I'm picking up right now is 6.5 feet tall.
Wow. Cause I lost a tree, the big tree, and we've been in that house 22 years, so.
Yeah.
And it provided shade, and then like the base of the tree, we have to get the
Trunk
stump
ground.
ground.
Yeah.
Can't say that. It was like, probably this big around. I put a whole booty on it. That's pretty good.
I've had a empty house behind me since I bought my house. We never really knew what was going on. They have lights on timers, so I thought somebody lived there, but I've never seen them. And I found out that woman had passed about 6 months before we bought our house. And it's been sitting there empty all this time. And some realtor just bought it. They closed in August and now it's for sale.
Is that the flip?
It's a flip right behind me. And for the first time since I've lived there, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have people looking down into my backyard because I'm on a hill, so they're a little bit higher than me. And the first thing the contractors did was take the little tiny porch off the back and build this enormous sprawling deck where I'm gonna be like, hi neighbors.
Yeah.
So I'm planting a wall of the tall column type trees.
Yeah.
And so they're expensive when you want to buy them already big.
Mhm.
If you want to buy little ones this big and wait 10 years to have a privacy fence, you can do that. But I'm like, I want 10-foot tall trees at least right away. Roller Auction is an auction house. They sell all kinds of shit. Like if you need a new Bobcat or you want a
Bobcat.
4-wheeler or a Bobcat, meaning like a skid steer. Yeah.
Okay, I was
Like construction machinery.
I was like,
They're literally-
"Please,
They're just a Colorado auction house that
Okay,
does
yeah.
business liquidations. So like you can get pizza ovens through their auction site. You can get like,
Well, I'm gonna go look.
I know.
it's a slippery slope. Be careful
Yeah.
because there's so much shit you don't need that you're like, I could have that for $300. I
I
definitely.
need that. I need that. I didn't know
I didn't know how
20
bad I
minutes ago, but now I do.
But like I got a 7.5-foot tree that would be $400 at most nurseries for I think $85.
Shut up.
So every October.
I'm so lucky.
Every October, they do a Roller Auctions does an auction for this nursery.
Yeah, totally not.
So I gotta go pick up 2 trees and then I'm gonna try and haggle.
Actually, I think that's where we get our Christmas tree every year.
I'm gonna try and talk to the manager and be like, I'm a realtor. I'd really love to use trees as housewarming gifts for my clients. Is there some way we could cut some kind of wholesale access deals?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I can't afford to just buy everybody retail trees. But I'd love to, if I have people that close down here, I have another nursery I'm working on up in Longmont too. Because I think whether it's a house plant, if it's a spring closing, you bring somebody some cool flower flats.
Mhm.
If it's a fall closing, you bring them a tree. I don't know, to me, it just feels like good housewarming gifts.
That's cool.
Nick,
Huh?
have you ever heard of Tom Ferry at all?
Nope.
So he's like a huge real estate mogul, but he has a podcast and a whole YouTube channel, and he talks about a great housewarming gift that's not overly expensive is getting a flat, just hear me out here. a seed packet, like something you buy from Home Depot or Lowe's, and getting it branded with like your logo, the Keller Williams logo, all of your information. And it's like you're delivering a packet of seeds to a new to a new homeowner. And it's like you're essentially planting the seed to a everlasting friendship, connection, network, whatever. And it was just really cool when he explained that, because I mean, this was in front of like 12,000 people I was watching in some YouTube like TED Talk about it. But I just thought it was cool. And it's less than $1 a packet. So that's just something to think about too, instead of having to buy a new tree, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm a overdoer on everything. I'm an overbuilder. When I was a carpenter, if I built a deck, that thing would outlast the house.
Right, right.
You know, I overdo everything I do. I don't know how to go slow or go easy. I go hard all the time.
Yeah, if you're not getting a $1 pack of seeds, you're getting a 20-foot pine.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, Zachary,
Yeah.
that was our pot buy in the spring, was seed.
No way.
Yep, wait, so if you want some, they're forget-me-nots. And
I would love them. That's such a cool idea. Like I mean, even if they're a potential client, it's like, hey, let's start, let's build a friendship. Let's start with a seed and let it blossom, like, I don't know. I just thought it was such a cool
all sorts of,
marketing tactic.
yeah, you gotta get on did you get pumpkin?
Did I get what?
Did you get the pumpkin?
I think
Don't we pick up pumpkins tomorrow?
Yeah, were you on the list?
I registered, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, no, that's how we roll. So.
So say, come to the, I haven't either.
Yeah, no, come tomorrow, 2:30, wear your grubbies,
My grubbies?
don't come fancy.
Oh, yeah. No.
We're not washing them first for you.
I'm gonna come in a tank top. That's how we're gonna show up.
Nice.
It's gonna be like 40 degrees tomorrow.
Is it
Oh,
really?
crap.
Nice.
Really?
I know.
I don't know, it's not supposed to get out of the 50s today.
Yeah.
So I almost wore my big thick hoodie, but I knew it was gonna be too hot in here. All right,
We just sold that for us.
I'm shutting y'all down. Oh, I'm out here now.
Oh my God.
I'm shutting y'all down. It's over.
You should come in person. You could stay in Gab.
Yeah, right. Gab with Gabby. No, but do y'all have any other questions? Is there anything else that what I missed? What do you, besides these gaps? Send me some other ideas, things that you want to hear about. We're gonna have sort of like the field trip. We're gonna do some, hey, follow me. This is what I'm doing today. And you can shadow us. Yeah, like especially if we're door knocking. You're not gonna sit in my office and just watch me, whatever I do.
Type. Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
I know, you're not gonna do that, but like when we have, hey, I'm gonna go door knocking, come with me.
If anyone ever wants to come out and see door knocking and help me help volunteer, I'll take that. There's 4 weeks left to the election.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I almost did that in the last push, well, not the time, around the school board.
yeah,
I was too scared.
yeah.
That was frightening. Douglas County School Board was frightening.
No, the school board always gets frightening.
Door knocking, is it to advertise your listing?
Yeah,
That you're doing
yes,
tomorrow?
it could be. It could be, well, I was gonna do a, open house. And she's like, the seller said, I really don't like open houses. I was like, me neither. I would love to have a Sunday. And they're gonna be gone, so. But I wanted to get around because there are 2 other properties that are on the market there. So I wanna get those out. But, that's the other thing is that, like, to your point, you wouldn't know when you're out door knocking if there's a sign in the yard. Even though you're advertising a different listing, you're not soliciting for your business, don't knock that door if somebody else's sign is in the yard. And would it be sign crossing? Probably not, that because you're not trying to get their business, you're just trying to advertise your listing. If it was a mailing, you wouldn't check and pull that mailing for that MLS listing, right? But don't, because it doesn't look good.
So,
Sometimes it's about the look.
so I'm picking up a subtlety in what you just said. So if you had a listing in a neighborhood, you would use that as a reason to door knock.
Heck yeah.
See, I wouldn't have thought of that. I'd be going to neighborhoods looking for listings,
Oh, yeah, that too.
right? But if you have a listing in the neighborhood, because I could see the value in potentially somebody that, I think it was the last Ignite, there was a guy, does Bud or Buzz, is he still around? Is he maybe out of the other office?
Like you?
Huh? No,
This was me not doing that.
no, there's a guy in our sphere
No.
here, Buzz or Bud. He's the open house guy. I think he maybe works in the Highlands Ranch office that we're affiliated with,
Maybe.
but he
We're
came
no
in,
longer
he
affiliated,
came
by
in,
the way.
we're no longer affiliated? I didn't know
Well,
that.
we don't have, we used to have the same OP and now we don't.
Okay. I think there's a guy in that office that could be a resource as you guys are teaching, because I remember him from an early Zoom meeting a year ago or whatever, where he was talking about, he's built his entire business on doing open houses on other people's listings. And when he really blew my mind was when he said, and 70% of those are not Keller agents listings.
Mhm.
He literally, he chose to have the footprint of where he wants to do business be very small. So anytime a new listing pops up in his area, he calls the agent and says, hi, I'm with Keller Williams. Can I hold an open house in your listing? And so it'll be like a Coldwell Banker listing and he's a Keller agent doing an open house there.
Yeah.
Not with his Keller Williams signs out front,
Mhm.
but for him, it's how he meets buyers. He just
Oh,
has,
yeah.
he's like,
It's
so
efficient.
are you represented? Oh, I see you're not with an agent. I'm available to be your agent. This is not my listing. I'm just holding an open house
Yeah.
to try and help buyers find their perfect home. And if this isn't the perfect home for you, I'd still love to work with you. I could show you 10 other houses in the neighborhood I've done open houses on.
Yeah.
So that's his whole thing is he chose a geographical footprint. This is where I want to work. So he's looking for every opportunity in that small area because he doesn't want to burn gas is the way he basically
Yeah.
explained it, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was
a year
interesting.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and now the OPEC cuts, it's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy.
Is it gonna go again?
Yeah, the
Yeah, they
powers that be in Saudi Arabia and Russia just cut production by several million gallons a day.
What?
Oh yeah, our gas prices are about to be higher than they've ever been.
All right, Nikki and Zach, we're leaving.
Thank you so much for a good solid hours.
Nice.
I don't even know why I said it like that, but hey, have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Gwen.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll see you later.
Yep,
Bye,
yep.
guys.